so proudly we had the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rugged the monster's stream gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Oh, good evening.
Hey, good evening, guys.
Scott, how we doing tonight?
Best day of my life. How about you fellas?
Oh, I've been busy.
Whoa,
The hay is
all right.
plentiful. Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know if it's my best day, but it's, not going too bad.
Did you wake up?
Yes,
There's
there
a
you
lot
go.
of people that can't say they did that, so you just enjoy every day you can.
That is true. That is true. You do have me there.
We're above ground, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, Kelly's going to be a little late. He was doing the opening ceremonies over there at the Mandan Rodeo. So he will be here. He will be here. So he's just doing his gubernatorial duties there.
Trampus says he's watching from the Baylor tonight. So
Awesome.
there you go.
Thanks,
I just
Trampus.
came from the hayfield. Yeah. So I don't know. How about you, Scott? You been in the hayfield today?
Not today. I finished what I had down yesterday, and it only made 3/4 bale an acre. So I'm just going to wait until I get back from a little trip and hit the grass hay here, because the grass hay I know is less than that. So
I feel for you, buddy. So I figured it out. From what I cut so far, I'm getting about 3.5 bales an acre. That's the best I've had in a long time around here. So wow. Hey, Dan, good evening from the Western Edge. Good to have you with us tonight. 18 wheels and a dozen shooters. Dozen 6 shooters. So
what's up, buddy?
So Dan Brown knows he's from the Western Edge. He knows he's on real person time over here, or as Jamie said, rattlesnake time is what you call it.
Yeah. Hey, so you were saying right before we went to the intro there, you were talking about a rattlesnake. I got a story there real quick too, but go ahead and tell me what you were going to say about it.
The other day I was going over, I was on Sunday. I went to finish cutting some hay over at the neighbors and go to grease my header, and I lift up the plastic shield, and put the pin in, and there's a rattlesnake sitting right on the gearbox looking right at me.
Oh, wow.
You don't realize how athletic you are until you see a rattlesnake, and you can do things with your body that you never thought you could.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so, do you use a disc vine or a traditional, Scott?
I got a regular cutter, regular traditional.
I'll have a disc vine here tomorrow. I'm borrowing another one to see if I want to buy one, and I think
our hay was never thick enough to use a disc vine.
Yep, you got to have good hay for that.
Yeah, it worked really good if it was heavy, but we don't ever have to worry about that.
So what happened to it, Scott? Did you finish it off, or what'd you do to it?
Yeah, I grabbed the air hose. I was gonna blow things out, and I grabbed him.
Air hose, like a dolly on a rope, and you just beat the shit out of it, or what?
The end of the hose has the quick connect, so it's a pretty good weapon.
I love it. Yeah, so sponsor of our show, Axe, and his wife Lynette, she came out of the garage, big rattlesnake there, so she called up the father-in-law, and he came over and looked like he took the hoe and gave it the old guillotine treatment. Said he was
Well,
going to throw it in the burn pit. So I know last time Max got one, he shot it with the 9 and then he skinned it and ate it. And he said, wasn't very good.
oh,
No, they're
tell
not
you,
very good.
man, the last time I seen rattlesnakes in abundance was when you and I and Max were down there shooting Prairie.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't.
Holy crap,
No
down there
thanks.
at Hank's place. So yeah,
No
my
th-
goodness.
I mean, I'd definitely love to go down there again and shoot some, but I'm going to be more prepared this time. I might buy some
Well,
rattlesnake chaps.
we
or
sure as
something.
hell ain't gonna walk in that tall grass where that hay yard was. Holy
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Scotty, it looked like we were real close to a landmine and we just
They started
They just
buzzing
rattled
around us,
buzzed,
and
yeah.
oh my God, yeah, we all just Clay and I and Axe all just froze and bzzz, and we're going, like this was because we were going to sneak around this hay bale, these round hay bales, and we're going to lean over them and shoot. Yeah, apparently the rattlesnakes were. That's right where they were all hanging out.
There's been a lot of them this year. It really has.
Oh my God, yeah, that was.
Being this our all-American outdoor show, I don't know about you, Scott, but man, have I seen pheasants and pheasant chicks and fawns and kids from from antelope. I mean, I've seen an abundance.
So we don't have a lot of pheasant in this country. I mean, we're primarily grouse country,
right?
But this calving season, like 2 roosters moved in from somewhere, and they look skinnier than the grouse do, but they're learning to live on sage, I guess, out this way. But yeah, we got a couple, but the antelope look good. Few, what deer we have, the fawns look good.
Yeah.
But man, the cow elk have been calving like crazy.
Wow.
And they're all over the place right now.
I wonder why. Why do you think that is?
It's their time to give birth.
No, I mean like the elk are they blowing up there or what?
Well, I winter like 60 to 80 cow elk every winter out here.
Yeah.
And where I winter my cows. So my beef cows, I should say. And that's their winter area. That's where they kind of live during December, January, February. And
so the
this
EHD
is where they come back and kid,
those to that hurt on you.
No,
I haven't seen it hit them yet. No,
I don't know. I think this year, I think Mother Nature, knows what the heck's going on, right? And there is an abundance of wildlife in general.
There's a Govey. Govey's on here. All right.
He made it. All right.
He did. All right.
I got to click him in here.
There.
Hey, we got him in. All right. Hey, Mr. Governor, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Great. Just
talking about the abundance of wildlife we're seeing this year, so it's a good thing.
Couldn't wait a little longer to hay, Clay?
Yeah, I wish.
So yeah, Kelly's joining us. Governor Armstrong, thanks for joining us. He was just doing the opening ceremony there at the rodeo, Clay, right? You think you got a picture there of him?
I just might have a picture that was sent to us here. We got a couple of them. Look at there. I didn't even know you had a hat. Nice job.
Looks good on you.
That hat has elk blood on it. They asked me what my riding experience was, and I said redneck mountain hunter.
There we go. Perfect.
He's from Western North Dakota. You know darn well he has a hat.
Hell yeah. That's the only way I've been elk hunting. When I went out to Wyoming and Colorado hunting, we took our horses and we packed in there, and I was about in my 20s. So I don't know how that would be nowadays, but I'm 50 now.
So Kelly, we had a couple rattlesnake stories here before you came on. You see any rattlesnakes out of your guys' place?
I haven't been out there much in the last 3 weeks. We've been dealing with different stuff, but we don't get a ton of them south of Richardson. We used to get a ton of them north of Medora, and then when my parents had a lake cabin at Mateau, which there were actually a lot of them out there.
Yeah, right across from basically the northeast of Charging Eagle Bay. My grandparents, I think maybe we talked about this. My grandparents had a cabin out right across Mossa Bay, Charging Eagle Bay. I don't know what you guys call it.
So we were basically straight south on just almost directly across the lake from Indian Hills on the south side.
Oh, okay.
So a little east of.
Yep. All right. Gotcha. All right. I'm thinking, man. All right. At any rate, it's a different one. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the hat, by the way, because I didn't have any red, white, and blue shirts washed up or hoodies, so I got Kelly's cap's red, white, and blue.
We do a pretty good fireworks show out at my parents'. It'll be good this year too. It's because the water's down, and so I got my fireworks T-shirt, and it says, "I like my coffee black and my tea in the harbor."
There you go. Perfect.
Hey, perfect.
And my son so you guys know my wife's from Norway. So my son's got one that says, "What the bleep is a kilometer?"
I do like that. I love that, actually. That's a great one. So, yeah, everybody's joining in. I see people are jumping on here.
They are, yep.
Scott Bachmeier, Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Scott, thanks for joining us, buddy. And, of course, Governor Kelly Armstrong's joining us again. Appreciate that big time. Kelly, you're an awesome governor. I appreciate you coming on. And hey, there we go, right there.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
That was fun.
That was.
Yeah, it was.
Of course, Jamie, he was out there flexing his muscles over
there. I was messing around with the game camera. Clay had to throw that on there.
We got a new sign up, and that's very
sweet.
American, pro-American. So that's out there by the interstate.
Axe, our sponsor there, LAUER Auto, just put the flag up there. Actually, if you saw that, Clay, he's got the solar panel there with the light, so it's lit up at night too for us. So
yeah, we're just going big time, right?
Independence Day morning, I'm going out there at 8 o'clock. Axe and I are going to do something a little special, something a little real American out there for everybody, and I'm going to throw a quick video together, and that'll be posted up there Independence Day. So.
Did you guys see at Memory Fireworks? They have like a pump shotgun fireworks, like
really
like Roman candles now. I
love that.
It's on their Facebook page, and on my way to the lake on Friday, I might have to swing by and.
Jamie,
so that's up north of. That's up north of Bismarck, right? They got that huge warehouse.
South. Well,
south
I don't know if they
Mandan
do this year. Last year they had one south south of Mandan, and then one north on Bismarck. So.
All right, I'm gonna go up there and get one of those. I don't buy many fireworks anymore, but
Jamie, get two. I need one of them.
Okay.
I haven't touched off fireworks since I got blowed up, but I'll make an exception.
I know a young guy at work asked me, he's like, "You gonna ricochet some bullets again?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "That video where they were bouncing." And I'm like, "Oh, you mean to shoot some tracers off the water?" I said, "Yeah, I can do that out the farm. I'll do that for you." So I'm going up Saturday, and there's no fire hazard, so I'm gonna let a 20 rounder tear out of the AR off the creek.
Yeah. Quickly though, I'm gonna throw this in here, guys. Wayne Muth, he has a deal coming up. He must be involved in this. He posted it. Guns a-blazing in the Badlands, August 16th and 17th. $1,500 added money. Check it out. It's being done by the Stark County Fair out of Dickinson. Multi-horse option, rifle, shotgun, 3D jackpot, clean shooter, electric hookups, and horse pens available. So I'm telling you, that sounds like a great deal. So check it out.
One thing here, Wayne Muth got into cowboy mounted shooting, I think a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago. Last year, he went down and competed, or he won some regional things and was able to compete in the national side. And he went down, I think it was in Arizona, and won his division as a rookie. On the cowboy mounted shooting, so he's been very involved in that.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, but I don't need another expensive habit. So
that's why he wants a prize at $1,500, because he knows he can win now. So Wayne's like the ringer on those now.
Well, Wayne's planning to be. We're doing our North Dakota Farm Bureau, our county deal. We're doing an annual meeting, but we're doing an actual mounted cowboy action shooting contest there. Paul Metz out of Oliver County, they're helping put that on. So it's going to be a fun day in Carson, North Dakota, and there's not a lot going on there in September. That's September 13th. So we'll put more out here about it later. But yeah, hey Kelly, if you want to do something on the 13th and come down to Carson, we're gonna have a good time down there.
So at least you get JC Schaefer down there.
There we go. She's from that country.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's have a shooting contest.
Yeah. I'm your Huckleberry.
You want to catch up on some of these comments here, Clay? And then we'll jump into it. All right, let me back it up here. Back it up. Where'd you go? I know you were hitting a few of them there. Trampus, he's watched from the Baylor. You got that. We got Dan. Oh, AT Wheels. He said live from 81 in Virginia. You know where that is, Kelly? You were down East Highway 81, Interstate 81 or something?
I don't know, but it's weird. In Virginia, they don't tell you how far away things are in miles. They tell you how far it is in time. Yep. It drives me like, how far are you from DC? So a really good friend of mine, Ben Klein in Congress, is like, I'm like, how far are you from DC? He's like 2.5 hours. I'm like, that's not what I asked.
Yeah. Well, that's when I was out there, Kelly. We were going to go out to eat with a bunch of guys from the NRA when I was out there. And they're like, oh, how far is it? I said, oh, they go probably about 30 minutes, maybe 40. Yeah, that 40 minutes was a lot. Like a mile away.
Yeah.
Well, Scott's going to Vegas. I always thought that when I was in Vegas the first time, and my wife and I, and we're like, hey, let's walk over there. And we just kept walking. And I'm just thinking, this is not getting any closer. What's the deal here?
Hour and a half later, you're still walking next to the end grand.
Yeah. That's exactly what it felt like. That's exactly what it feels like there. So,
Scotty, how long are you going out there for?
Just the weekend.
Oh, just weekend. All right.
Yeah.
You're not going. What'd you say? You're not really hanging in Vegas. What do you got going there?
Well, we're gonna do is like some outside stuff. Just probably I've been down there. My sister used to live down there with my mom, and she was taken care of before my mom passed away, and so we've been around there and done a lot of things. But we're gonna try to do some more of the educational side of things, if you could say.
Oh, an educated man.
Yeah.
There's some great shooting ranges.
I'm not gonna try not to quote Tombstone anymore. So Charlie Renville, I'll do this real quick here, says North Dakota needs to have a Second Amendment tax-free break like Florida, which I told Clay about pre-show and Clay got on here. My second favorite governor, Kelly, Governor Ron DeSantis, they got the Second Amendment holiday going on down there. Big Ron says, thanks for heeding my call to deliver the Second Amendment tax holiday. So firearms, ammo, and accoutrement, which I'm not going to lie, I don't know what accoutrement means. Also, as well as other outdoor items like fishing and bow hunting are going to be tax-free from September 8th until December 31st of this year. As you can imagine, the Democrats down there got their heads got to be exploding. This is never Hogwash is from, Dave Hogwash. He's from down there, isn't he?
Could be.
So that extends a previous proposal for a Second Amendment summer tax break, which I remember that, Clay. We talked about that down in Florida, which was initially set for Memorial Day to Independence Day. So in addition to covering a broad range of firearms and accessories, it's going to cover all kinds of other stuff to help Floridians get a little relief on their Second Amendment rights. Yeah, I like that idea, Kelly. I don't know what you think of that one, but
I mean, I don't mind the idea. Anybody's going to go spend some money at running, shields, fleet. By the way, I spent 3.5 hours in fleet. I went for one thing. I spent 3.5 hours in fleet farm in Bismarck the other day. But
that place is amazing, really.
I can tell you it can't happen until at least January probably August or July of 27, because that would take legislative action,
Sure.
Talk to your legislator. Let's figure out if that's something we'd want to do.
Hey, my legislators, both of them are A+ rated one's A, one's A+ by the NRA. So, and my senator, I think, is an A. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All of mine are pretty much rated in the A category, so that's good.
Yeah, I like that. I like what did Gene Cox say? I walked around all 7 floors of Longworth last spring, got my steps in.
I bet you did, yeah.
Gene, when my office was on the 7th floor of Longworth, I had a backpack up there with 50 pounds of bricks and rocks, water bottles in it, and I climbed the stairs, and I called it getting in sheep shape.
I mean, if that isn't hardcore hunting, I don't know what is right there. That's awesome, man. That's your bona fides for sheep hunting for sure, at least. But if you're going to do something like that, you're into hunting. I don't know that. How many other governors, Kelly, do you think are into guns and hunting as much as you?
There's quite a few. So like Brian Kemp in Georgia loves to hunt. Pillin in Nebraska likes to hunt. I think for a lot of guys, it's probably different. I think I will get out more as governor than I did in Congress, which isn't nearly enough. But I think, the job, one of the reasons I bought a new bow is because I really haven't bow hunted since, and part of that's because my kid got into it and he likes to pheasant hunt. And, when you're home, you get to do that stuff. But the reason I haven't got a new bow in 9 years is, one, because I don't think you need a new bow but every 9 years. But two, just in 6 years in Congress, I didn't have a lot of time to do it.
Yeah, we happen to have a picture of that.
Yeah, which Kelly's going to give us.
I think that's your new one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my new one.
So Kelly, real quick before we get into your bow, I noticed you had 2 boxes of ammo. There was that one like some Hornady 223 soft points, and then
so I've done. I'm sure I'm upside down, but I win guns at auctions, and and so you guys are gonna really get mad at me for this, but I already have a 22-250, and I want another one, and I have a 17 in an AR platform, and then a bolt action, and I had a 204 Ruger, and so when I bought that bow, I went to buy a cheaper bow, and my friend down at Shields knows I'm the mark. And so on the way back, because I didn't bring an arrow and we wanted to tune it while we were setting it up. So I just grabbed, my safe is so damn full. So I grabbed this 204 and this 22-250, and I traded them in to ease the pain a little bit of, bows have not gotten cheaper. Let's just be clear.
No.
And so they don't, if you know anybody who needs 2 boxes of 204 ammo, I've got 2 boxes that I no longer have.
So what kind of, what is it? Soft ballistic?
No,
tips?
they're Hornady. They're varmint rounds. I don't, like when I shoot longer distances, and my kids have 22s and all of that stuff. So I had it set up for kind of a side-by-side coyote gun. Mm-hmm. And then invariably it's usually just my AR in there. So it hasn't really moved. So they're good rounds. I could go look. To be honest,
I'll text you off the live here, because if we start talking, they might get wiggy on us here. But I know a guy, so
yeah. I just never shot it, and I'm like,
Clay, why are you on mute? Did I mute you, or did you mute yourself? No, say
on mute.
Oh yeah, you were on mute there. Okay, you're good.
I don't think he was. I think he just hadn't talked in a while.
Yeah, which is unusual.
I thought Scott was unplugged there. I know he said he's tired. He was out working some cattle, but.
Oh, I can go all the day long. You know that.
Hey, Kelly, I got to throw this one out to you. So October 24th, if you're able, I can text you that. Put that on your schedule, maybe, if you can. They're having their Friends of NRA event in Mandan, North Dakota. And we thought about buying a table. Jamie and I did with G&T701. So if that's something you're interested in, we'd love to have you come sit with us.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. Dan Brown, we'd run the one in Dickinson. I mean, he did an awesome job.
Yes. And
we always used to do that, which was great. So we'll see. I get mad at you guys. So what my favorite thing about SCI and Bismarck is their banquets in August. Like Mule Deer Foundation, NRA, Pheasants Forever, all those guys. It's a weekend during hunting season, guys.
Yeah,
it is. Yes, yes.
But it's a Friday night and it's in Mandan, so that might work.
That one ain't too bad. Yeah, that's and actually my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law run that one, so I'm gonna make a point to go to that one this year. It's one of the few that we still have in North Dakota. So ever since I retired, there aren't too many anymore.
So. Clay, you want to hit our first break here and come back? Kelly, you can give us you and Scott are big bow hunting guys. Let's talk about your new bow here a little bit.
Okay.
You can give us a little lowdown on. I know a little bit about bowing. I'm a crossbow guy. You guys probably cast me out to the side there, which is fine. But let's do our first break and come back. Governor Armstrong's going to give us a breakdown of his new bow here.
Good. I'm going to go grab a Mountain Dew.
You bet. Put a little Jim Beam in.
Stop in at Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
All right, we are back already. That was a quick one. So
yeah, hey, I like you busting out the old school one there. I did the I remember doing the whole thing there, and that was just a one-time go through there too. I didn't even have to do that one over. Right?
That's the original for Lauer Auto Repair.
Yeah,
imagine that. We've come a little ways from that, but hey, what the heck, right?
Yeah. All right, so we're back. Guest Scott Bachmeier, Dakota Prairie Outdoors, Governor Kelly Armstrong, and of course the two nobodies here, Clayton and I. Appreciate everybody clicking in here, and appreciate you guys joining us.
Quick reminder, everybody. Friday there'll be no Guns in the 701 with Todd Mitchell. In fact, Todd isn't even going to be there because of the Independence Treasonous Day, we like to call it. We're proud treasonous. So,
only treason if you lose.
It's only treason if you lose. That's right. That's right. So we will not be there Friday, but I will be there Monday morning in studio with Michael Bell on Dakota mornings. So tune in for that.
Yeah. Hey, and Michael got me some swag, man. I appreciate that, buddy. I'm gonna wear some of it Independence Day morning and do that video. So
I'm gonna throw this one up. Charlie Renville. Now Charlie's up there in that Grand Forks area. He says North Dakota should offer a $200 refund to counter the NFA federal tax infringement on our Second Amendment. I'd love for North Dakota to stick it to the federal government. Well, so Charlie, I'm going to address it before the governor does. If the big beautiful bill goes through, there will be no $200 tax stamp, and that was the whole thing with the parliamentary.
No, they took that out.
No, it's out.
Oh, it's out again now?
Yeah, they took it out before they passed it to the Senate, to the House.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and this is so I think one of the things that happens with social media is like, and one day people are an expert on like the royal wedding, and then the next day they're experts on Senate parliamentary procedure. But I don't understand how that was ruled out of order, because it's actually a tax.
Yeah.
And it was ruled out of order by the parliamentarian, and it's really unfortunate, because Democrats all think suppressors are silencers. What they know about them, they know from watching James Bond movies. I cannot imagine a scenario, particularly now that Tester and Manchin got beat, that there would be any Democrat that would ever vote for it. So you're going to end up in that or you're either going to have to wait for the next reconciliation package and have a fight with the parliamentarian, or you're going to be there. I like Charlie's attitude. I like his. I think if you started doing that in red states, you would never ever have the federal government incentivized to actually get rid of what they should get rid of.
I'm going to disagree with you guys. NRA says it's in the House bill.
I don't think it is.
When Kevin was on, Senator Kramer was on with Michael, I'm pretty sure he said that's in there.
So it was, I believe it was.
I'm saying the $200 taxes off of it. Everything else,
got took out. I know for sure, but yeah, I guess I'll be honest. I haven't updated anything today, so I wouldn't know.
I'm just going by what I heard on Clay and Buck show on, I believe it was Tuesday, and they were discussing it on the same portion, saying that it was taken out and they needed to.
But I'm Googling it right now because I was following some other.
You guys
stuff.
Look it up. I'll bet you a case of beer if I can say that on YouTube.
But if they get the money out, then I think there's a whole different argument to make that that's how they finally won on the individual mandate at the Supreme Court on Obamacare, because they got around it because they said it was a tax.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the tax got zeroed to zero, they got rid of it, because once the tax is zero, so if they got the $200 out, then
here's the deal too. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I probably got the lowest IQ out of everybody here on the four guests, but
you might be.
Here's the deal. In 1937, the Supreme Court had a case like Szymanski versus something. They said the entire NFA was a tax. So, and when Senator Kramer was on with Michael, I didn't like his answer when he said, maybe we got to take this to court again. And I was kind of upset with that, which whatever. I'm kind of below my stack sometimes. But they actually, the Supreme Court said in 1937, the whole entire NFA was a tax, right? So we got the $200 off, but if you take this to court before the Supreme Court again and rehear it, Kelly, Governor, you're a lawyer. If they hear it again, they can say it is a tax. It does got to go away.
Yeah, but the other side to this is if they zeroed it out, and I think you are right. Don't you guys, broken clocks, Jamie's right, which is a good
yes, finally.
I just looked at it. Yep, it's in there.
But
hope my wife's not watching.
I don't think anybody wants hyper technical legal issues right now, but I will tell you that if the tax goes to zero, you have a better case in court when there's actually no money attached to it. Which is really, I bought a can earlier this year and it turned around in 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then 2 days after I bought one of those 22, it was the Mule Deer banquet. So I bought one of the 22 cans to win the gun. I did not win the gun. I had no use for a 22 can. So I upgraded to a different can, but they turned it around. I mean, they're really, I don't know what's going on. I mean, if you guys have bought these things, sometimes you wait 6 months, sometimes it turns around, but this was the fastest I'd ever had one.
So I'm looking
but
at
it
the
is still
dealer.
an absolute pain in the ass, and there's no reason for it.
You shouldn't have to register, but the $200 a waste. Go ahead, Clayton.
Here's what I found. It looks like the $200 was eliminated. Everything else still stays the same, but on short-barreled rifles and suppressors and things like that, they just eliminated the actual tax,
Right.
the $200 tax.
Which people are going to scream and holler, hey, man, we got to take it when we can get it if it's in there. And like I said, if they already ruled that the entire NFA was a tax, they just didn't call it that other than the two. They can get in front of the Supreme Court if they'll hear it.
But a tax without value has a better chance of getting thrown out because there's no money to it. So great, good for you.
And I've had this argument with a few people about, well, we got to have it all. Well, you're not going to get it all. It took us 20 years to pass concealed carry and then finally constitutional carry. When I was working with that, it actually was over 20 years. It's like anything else. You have to chip away at it. That's what the other side does. And it does move slow, but we finally won that battle. And now we have constitutional carry, I believe, in 29 states. And I think there's concealed carry permits just about in every state now in some form. Of course, New York, New Jersey, California, it's tough to get them, but for the most part, we have concealed carry permits. And it took us a long time to get there.
And I would also say, sometimes we don't know what we don't know, which is good. And we always want to push the envelope on these issues. But I finally figured out that I should probably get my concealed carry in DC, because if something happened, I did it in the wrong order. We'll just put it that way. And then I know what you're saying. I looked at my staff and I said, why don't you look up what the penalty is? And I'm like, okay, sign me up. It is such unbelievably terrible, like what you have to go through to get your concealed carry in DC. First of all, the shooting tests are all dumb because it's like a watermelon 15 feet away. And if you want to do a shooting test for concealed carry, what they should do is send you out to dinner with your wife, have a bottle of wine, go home, go to sleep, and have your shooting instructor come in over your head at 3 a.m., bang 2 pots together, just run around the house twice, and then see if you can hit the watermelon, because that's what your heart rate's going to do.
I mean, to be fair, if it is just shooting a watermelon, I want to take that test because I love shooting watermelons with hollow points.
Sure, but you should do it for fun, not for...
Right, I got what you're saying for sure.
Jamie loves to just shoot watermelons.
I hate watermelons.
He doesn't like watermelons.
I'm definitely in a vast minority on that. I can't stand. I like watermelon, bubble gum, and all that, but eating watermelon, it always looks good, man. Whenever I eat it, it tastes terrible to me. So that's
even with Everclear.
There you go.
All right, okay. I'll take it. One way I do like eating watermelon. My my father-in-law made pickled watermelon. I do love that. So, Kelly, the reason they were coming back faster, because one good thing the Biden administration did actually do is turn all the paperwork stuff over electronically for the ATF to do suppressors. I mean, the last 2 times I've got it, both the one I got back in, 2 of them I got back in 2 days, and the other one I got back in a week. So, and President Trump actually did for DC lighten up the restrictions on getting your concealed carry there. A lot of people don't know about stuff like that. Clay and I do because we're nerds on this shit. But yeah, which is good, man. I mean, anytime you can get it, it's your right. I mean, I don't know if DC's ever going permitless like we got it, but anything that can make it easier, like Gene says here, eat an elephant 1 bite at a time. That's 100% right.
Yes, and I've kind of been waiting for this to. I want to get a couple suppressors, but it'd be nice if I don't have to pay that $200.
A couple? What do you need that many for?
I want one for every gun. What are you talking about?
Scott, what do you got going there, buddy? You're pretty silent majority over there.
Before I forget, I do have to give kudos out to Governor Armstrong, making himself available not only tonight to the Mandan Rodeo, but I seen him a couple weeks back out at the Theodore Roosevelt Foundation fundraiser that I was the auctioneer for, and it is so refreshing to have a governor that will actually not only answer your text message, but actually come out to different events like that and be able to sit and talk to people. It's refreshing to see a governor that does that. Thanks, Kelly.
You bet. I always tell people I'm like Butch and Sundance from the movie. I'm better when I'm moving. You get sworn in December 14th. You go into legislature for 80 days. The nature of the gig is you end up spending the 80 days in your office because that's where the meetings are. And you get done and you're like, I'm like, let's go out. Let's go talk to people. Like my office is great, but it's still an office.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, if anybody, hey, like I said before, Kelly's on our live stream. It ain't like we're big, ain't like we're Clay and Buck or somebody. So, or I appreciate him coming on here. And Kelly's a true gun guy and a true hunter. I love that.
That's just it. And honestly, Governor Nome was that way too. You probably know Christy, but she always used to come to the banquets, and she does know how to use a shotgun. She knows how to use a gun. She is a hunter, and I always appreciated that because that makes it real, right? I mean, to me, it doesn't get any more American than expressing your Second Amendment rights, and then going out and having a good time, doing what we love.
Yeah, my problem is, so I had this today, and it's cool. I did a thing with the Knife River Pheasants Forever for Youth opener, and we'll do something again because my kids aged out of youth opener. But everybody, like even in Congress, everybody invites me to like some of these things, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go hunt with my dad and my son, guys.
Yes.
I don't know why I need to bring politics into it. I'd rather just go shoot 9 roosters and hang out with you. Like, it's a whole. I mean, there's 2 good reasons why personally I'm glad I'm home. One, I'm never late for a meeting. That's great. Meetings start when I show up, which is kind of fun after being on somebody else's schedule my whole life. And 2, I just get to see my dad and that picture. That's Matt, my buddy Matt Levitt, who's dropping feeders off at my ranch tonight.
Yep.
Great picture.
And his son Jennings was in the blind with me when I shot my moose. And I mean, we had the best porcupine hunt of all time for Thanksgiving a couple years ago.
Awesome. Get rid of them things.
Love shooting, love hunting. I love hunting porcupine.
That's the other thing I did. I decided sometime that I was going to really get into night hunting coyotes. And so bought a scope, did all of that. I've shot a lot of porcupines at night.
There you
So
go.
I remember Scott had first time I went hunting with Scott and Clay. Scott, remember that you had you were in I don't know how far away that porcupine was, but you had that DPMS, I think just like an Oracle or Sportico, whatever it was. And Scott's father was like, "There's a porcupine out there," and he was in Buffalo Berry Bush. And how far? Heck, I don't know. We were like, 200 yards. And Scott shoots a couple times. He's like, "Am I hitting it?" And I said, "The meat's flying out the back." But he hit it a couple more times. So he did. It dropped. People think that's cool, but if you got trees, man, I mean, they wreck trees. They eat the bark.
Oh, they're horrible on trees. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they're a little bit like coyotes. You're never going to get rid of them.
Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of them.
Right. They come back. You think they're gone. And just look at this. I love this comment right here. 18 wheels and doesn't 6-shooter. He says, "Governor Kelly, when you're done over there in North Dakota, please come and save us in Massachusetts."
That's kind of funny. Like the two most, I have 2 buddies. One lives in Massachusetts. One lives in California. Most radical conservatives you've ever met. It's like they're under siege every day. I'm like, guys, I'm like, you're scaring me a little bit. Like,
they're on the front lines, Kelly. That's what we always say. Those guys in California, Jersey, Massachusetts, those guys are on the front lines. We got it pretty good.
I mean, they got to hear it every day, so it probably actually even pushes them farther to the right.
So Kelly, I put this up here because that's my son, and I'm telling you, you made his day that day. He thought that was just awesome.
So that's the one benefit during this session. My staff calls me the Pied Piper. Because after about 5 meetings of things that everybody thinks is the most important thing in the world and whatever, I walk out into the hallway and grab 4th grade classes or 6th grade classes. I'm like, you guys come into my office and talk to me for 20 minutes. Because I'm like, the grown-ups are not doing it for me right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was a senior. He graduated this year. He come home that night and he goes, "Dad, guess who I met?" And he told me, and you sent me that picture. He thought that was, I'm telling you, you made his whole day because the way it sounded, a lot of the other kids, they weren't as interested. I don't know, but I wasn't there.
All right, Kelly, let's talk about your bow here a little bit. There, we got a little off track, which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is
That
fine.
happens.
Like I said, you and Scott are way more bow hunters than I am. I do it, but like I said, I got a crossbow, and you know, shooting bow is cool. I like shoot. I can't shoot it, but I mean, I could. It might hurt me, but you know, that's why I'm a crossbow guy. So, why don't you give us?
It's a Hoyt. I went in to get I went in. I shot. So I'm left-handed. So, I'm pretty limited in time and space. So. My last bow was a Bowtech. My bow before that was an Elite. My bow before that was a Matthews. I just kind of rotate through. I mean, it's like the difference between a Ford, a Chevy, and a Dodge. Like, it really is a personal preference. But I think the new thing with bows now, because I didn't know this, because the last bow I bought was 2017, is all the accessories that are like modular on them. And and so that's pretty cool. Like,
You're getting like ARs, you can add a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, but like they're specific to the bows, so they're quieter. Everything, there's less moving parts. I grew up like spot and stalking, which means failing often on antelope and mule deer in the Badlands. No, I do most of my hunting, quite frankly, out of either a ground blind or an elevated blind. I shoot heavy arrows. I shoot 150 grain broadhead, single bevel. And so this is
Extra mechanical.
This is way more bow than I need. But the one nice thing about carbon is it doesn't get as cold, because I really like to bow hunt between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I just got a text while we were sitting here about our food plots that are coming up, and so there's two benefits to that. I think you can food source bigger whitetails later in the year, particularly after the rut. And then the other benefit is usually my dad and my brother are tagged out by then, so I have the place to myself. You're not running into any communication issues, or as I like to refer to them, goat rodeos.
Oh yeah. So what's the IBO on that one?
I have no idea. I'm pulling, I think, 63 pounds. I don't chase any of that stuff anymore. Most of my setups, I mean, max I'd be shooting at 40 yards. And it's like, I am so overbowed, but it's just like, whatever. I bought it. We got home from the lake on Father's Day, and I'm like, I'm going to Shields for a couple hours.
Perfect.
So it's great. It shoots good. They're dead in your hand. I mean, what I really like is everything's like on the bow now instead of attached to the bow. And so if it's banging around in your side by side and stuff like that, like you just have less things to go wrong because it's all attached directly to the bow. But it's zeroed in at 20, and I'll get it sighted in out to 60, and I'll shoot at 40, and I'll probably still screw it up because I'll get too excited, and we'll have fun.
I like that OD green color you got on there too. I like that.
Yeah, well, that was not like, what color do you want? I'm like, Zach, what color do you have? This one. I go, okay, then I want that one.
I like that. Bo's got some cool. They're getting like rifles. They got some cool camo on them. I mean, I've seen like the multi-cam and all that on them.
Well, and I don't know, Scott. Like they did, like Matthews and Hoyt are really into these super thin handles.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because I grew up before that. So like I do. That's actually like, I think like tennis racket tape or racquetball grip tape. So I put one little thing. I think it stays warmer. And I don't like shooting with a glove on at all. So if it's 5 degrees below zero and you think your shot's there and all of a sudden the deer turns and all of that, you can have 4 or 5 minutes where like that. But I just don't like the super thin handle. So I wrap it a little bit.
I think the reason that a lot of those companies came out with that thinner handle is because you're not supposed to over grip your bow when you shoot it. You're supposed to let it fall away. And there's so many people that go, I feel over grip it sometimes, but I shoot a Hoyt too. Mine is about 4 or 5 years old, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It works so good, but I'm still one of those guys, Governor, that I still like to go out and spot and stalk everything here out in the Badlands. And most of the time it's because I'm out fencing or checking fence, and then I see something and then I put a little stock on it that way. But I still shoot the old fixed blade 100 grains, and and they've always worked for me. And I think I'm just going to keep doing the same thing, right? If it's not broke, it don't fix it. And it seems like
9
it's
out
been
of 10
working
deer
so
have
far.
no opinion on bow color. Correct?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
great.
But you're
That's
right. I
rough.
mean, they come with so many different things. The one thing I'm toying with the idea is a multiple pin. I'm a single pin with the dial wheel on it, so you can dial it up to 60, 70 yards. I have never played with one of those before. I usually only run 3 pins because I like less confusion in my sight. But
So Scott, mine is a 3-pin with a bottom like Hail Mary pin, but it's still a slider.
it is okay.
So my last sight was vertical pins. This is horizontal, but it's 3 pins, but you can still slide it if you have to. And I mean, again, if you're spotting stalking, particularly like speed goats,
Yeah.
like I mean, they're kind of cool. I learned how to sight it in, and I was terrified of this thing, and I'm like, well, this actually makes some sense. So it's not that hard. But one of the things about those sliders that they've gotten way better at is there's not, like the old spot hogs, like 10 years ago, there's so many knobs and buttons and like all of that. Like if one of them goes bad and you're out hunting or you're on a trip, I mean, but these are basically the newer ones. I think they've really figured out that hunters want simplicity. They want something that's built tough, that can bang around a little bit, and that you're not completely whacked out if you end up in all kinds of problems.
I'd agree with that.
Come a long way with those.
Well, especially when you're covering so much ground. I don't care if you're only 2 miles from your deer stand or your tree stand or your blind. There's always a chance of it rattling loose or falling out, or even when you get out to do something. I mean, you can always bang it on the side of the door. And the one thing though about archery, I mean, geez, I've been doing it a long time. I started with recurve and got into archery with recurve years and years ago. I mean, the bows have, just like the firearms, I mean, they're just getting better and better. And I can't see how they can invent something every year to outdo it, but they still do.
Well, and particularly in the big companies, what they've gotten really good at is knowing when they have a good system and they don't completely remodel it every year. But my favorite bow I ever had was a Matthews Adrenaline, and my favorite tree stand bow I ever had was a Bowtech Guardian. But even when they were, and for different reasons, but then they start working on, all right, so we like everything about the system, but it just vibrates a little too much.
Right.
So instead of reinventing the wheel every year, they go fix that. But I mean, what was it, 8 years ago now, probably, Matthews went away from the solo cam.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal for them. And
I even know what a solo cam is.
So solo cam is, bottom is a cam, top was a wheel. And it was really, I mean, they were the smoothest shooting bow at that time. But I agree with Scott. Like, I remember I was pulling like 85 pounds when I was 17 years old. I had a Golden Eagle. I had to order limbs for it. And like, I'm chasing because I'm out hunting mule deer and antelope. And I'm convinced if you can hit an antelope with an arrow, you're going to get it.
So let me ask you guys this: if you don't have, because I saw a video of our man Axe Hondo from Lauer Auto trying to pull a bow back with over at 2A701's place out in Enderlin. he damn near shot himself in the foot because he couldn't pull it back, and he said he gave him a different one and he pulled it back no problem. Is that because the Axe has some big long arms on him? I mean, does that make a big difference in the pull weight, how long your arms are and none of that? Because I know they measure you guys down at Shields and all that for this bow stuff, which I have no clue about. But because I grew up,
and their muscles you don't use all the time. I was not winning any weightlifting competitions when I was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
But my best friend, who was the starting linebacker and was winning weightlifting competitions, couldn't pull my bow back. Like,
yeah, I've seen that many times. I mean, go to a high school party or something, and a guy'd pull his bow out and some big musclehead would grab it. He couldn't pull it back. And you're like, huh? How is that possible?
But another thing you got to look at too is the design of the cams have made that not only the pullback a little bit easier, but the let off. I mean, you can sit and hold a bow back a lot longer than the very first compound bow I've ever purchased. So, I mean, the technology's come a long way to help with that draw weight too.
Yeah, I mean, I was chasing all this speed when I was 17 in 1994, and I bet my bow right now at 63 pounds with heavy arrows and heavy broadheads is flinging arrows faster than I was flinging them then.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I can tell you, I know nothing about bow hunting. Just wasn't my thing. But my boys, when they got into it, and that was through the archery and the schools thing, it sparked their interest. Shields did a great job. They measured for them. They went ahead and we found a bow and that would grow into them. And they're way better than I am because, like I said, I never did it. So I don't understand a lot of it, but I do know that measuring and finding the right pounds seems like it's quite a factor. But that's just, I don't know very much about.
Well, and I like, for me too, like I pulled too much too early, and so like I'm still trying to break bad habits, like locking your front arm versus. I mean, one of the reasons I think they do the, like you were talking, the thin handles is you don't want to torque. I mean, there are a lot. Shooting a bow at 50 yards is like shooting a rifle at 800 yards.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things don't have to go very wrong for you to miss very badly.
So does how hard it is to pull a direct correlation with the newer bows, how fast the arrow is going to go?
I mean, I think it depends on how your setup is. I mean, and by the way, every one of these bows, it doesn't matter if it's a Hoyt or a Bowtech, what they're advertising as IBO speed is a lot like, I mean, you're shooting
it's like muzzle velocity
broadheads. I mean, the bow's always going to shoot slower than an IBO's at, but I mean, and they're running them with guys. They're finding the tallest guy that works for Hoyt with a 32-inch draw length. But I honestly don't think most of that stuff matters in a hunting situation.
So,
I think it's very similar to a 7mm PRC. It might be a 2-mile gun, but you're not a 2-mile shooter.
So I got to ask this question as a guy who knows nothing about bow to Scott and Kelly: what is an IBO? Because I don't know.
It's like
IBO.
muzzle velocity for a bow.
Yeah, it's like International Bow Hunter Organization average speed for archery or something.
Okay.
I think it stands for.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
and I bet there's a lot of guys listening that don't know. So thank you, because I when it comes to archery stuff,
So we ran my crossbow out at Axis. We did a whole test on it. It was rated for 100 grain, but I like shooting the 120 grains because it lined up better with the drops.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost right on, but when I shot the heavier one, yeah, it definitely, which 100 to 120 grain, you know, like I said, I'm not big in archery, but yeah, you could definitely tell a difference. But I'd like to shoot a regular bow, but
I was just going to tell you, I'm reading the comments. I just switched off of, so I know why the Hornady box velocities are bad if anybody wants to go down this rabbit hole.
I tell you what, my 6.5 Creed governor is pretty on the beans.
So a lot of it has to do with lot number, and
the 223 not as much.
So Hornady is whatever, the 800-pound gorilla, but Federal's the woolly mammoth. So there was
like
some
the gorilla
powder
videos now.
So there is a bunch of powder shortage that still exists, by the way, in the supply chain. Mm-hmm. And when there are supply chain shortages, the big get what they want before anybody else gets everything else. And so Hornady had to redo their powder matrix to make sure that they still want their accuracy in all of this, but like really, like on, you know, I chronoed that 7 PRC I bought, and I have 5 boxes of Hornady that I'll kick around with to shoot around with, but I ended up ordering 10 boxes of Federal because I got the turret based on that, and so Hornady has, and I don't know if it's cycled through and they've gotten better again, but their IBO speeds were, in some cases 300 feet per second slower. Mm-hmm. And it's because they couldn't get the same powder they had when they designed the shell. I went down this rabbit hole in a real meaningful way because I was trying to figure out how to order my turret for my new gun, and it really is that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't know, if you're 300 feet per second off and you got your turrets, you're not going to hit something. I mean, even at 300 yards, you're probably going to be screwed. You're not going to hit. You might gut shoot it or something, but you're not going to hit it. So, what are the comments here? Do you do any bow fishing with your bow?
I have a longbow with a setup for it, and
Old school, even.
I think it's easier.
Way
Really?
easier.
Well, I do.
Why is that, I wonder?
Well, one, because your shots are all like 8 yards, and two, I do it recreationally at carp when I'm up at the lake, and it's
carp.
fun. You got to learn the refraction on the water. But I have buddies up by Williston that, I mean, they run their flatboats and they have a blast doing it at night.
So do you aim higher or lower with the water?
Lower.
How far? So if let's say you got a 10-pound carp there, how low are you aiming at 10 yards?
Well, I'm not by any means the expert. I miss way more often than I hit them.
Boy, Scott, you do. I know Marty Beard's daughter does.
Yeah,
it.
I aim about. It seems like, like depending on the depth of the water, but about a foot lower, roughly. But I agree. A longbow.
10 yards.
Oh yeah, a longbow or a recurve.
Wow.
You can rack quicker. You can shoot faster. You don't have to sit there and worry about pulling back and holding. Yeah, it's a little quicker. Fish don't just sit there sometimes, but
yeah, I think the key to shooting carp is shoot them close to the surface as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they're under the water. They're under the water at all, and I mean, I haven't. It's a little like doping the wind to me. I haven't figured it out.
Kentucky
I can
windage.
shoot real good to 750 yards with no wind.
No wind.
Giving me big crosswind, and it gets pretty sporty pretty fast.
I'd definitely take a headwind or a tailwind over a crosswind. Sucks, and I don't care if you're shooting bow or crossbow or rifle or hell, throwing a spear for that matter. Probably it sucks.
Throwing.
All right, Clayton, we got about an hour in. You want to hit the break here? But
We
got a big
probably
one
should.
coming up.
It's been a while here.
We'll come back. We'll get to some of your comments here, and I tell you what we're gonna do when we come back. Let's do something. I want you guys all to think about this. I got my list here. Top 3 critters to hunt in North Dakota. I know what mine are. I see what you guys got. Let's see what the governor's got. Scott's got. Clayton. You guys might be surprised with mine a little bit, but let's. I
imagine P-dogs are on there, Jamie.
What?
All right, we'll be right back. This will be a long one, so we'll be right back. Telling you,
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constant constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we're back.
We're back. We're back, everybody. Scott Bachmeier, Dakota Prairie Outdoors, Governor Kelly Armstrong, Clayton, and myself. Appreciate everybody tuning in on it. Yeah, hey, hot day out, Clayton. Beautiful day.
It was hot.
Rodeo.
91 degrees down here today.
Governor was out opening ceremonies of the rodeo. And so, I mean, hey, I'm glad we got the people watching. We do. Because I wasn't too optimistic. I was like, really? We got to get the best day of the week. And we're trying to do a live stream. Like, we need a thunderstorm or something to chase everybody inside. But, yeah, going good. Hey, and if everybody's watching, don't forget, hit that like button. And if you're feeling really generous, hit that share button, right, Clayton? Because it
absolutely
helps us break the algorithms on here. Gotta love that.
And I can tell you, we got our subscription thing kind of set up. We'll probably launch it next week. It looks like I got that set up. And thanks to those of you that have already done it, we switched over to a different system. That way we don't have to pay CommieTube anything. It'll just go straight to us.
Which is good. Which is good.
I'll have to show you how to do that, Scott. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
Yeah, I'd be open to watch and see what difference it would make.
It's pretty easy to
well, I didn't know we got drew in what we did last year till Clay told me we would, and it was just kind of not that it's a big amount, but I mean it was way more than I thought. So
not like my son who makes these. No offense to my son. He makes weird videos, but he's over $1,200 now, so he's monetized his channel.
Yeah, I mean we're on the wrong side of 50, so that's what happened.
That's right.
Yeah. So I told everybody before we came on to pick a subject we were going to hit on, and I've been thinking about doing this one for a while. I know I told you guys, I'm like, it's kind of a softball question, but your top 3 critters that you like to hunt in North Dakota, and keep it specific here to North Dakota. I got mine. Let's let Scott. Why don't you go first? Let's get your top 3 here first. And like I said, if you're feeling generous, go ahead and let us know what you're gonna take it with, and then ammo or the arrow you're using, or the broadhead or what.
So the top 3, and in my head, I immediately go to things that I like to eat and the taste of it. So the first one's going to be pronghorn antelope is going to be my first one.
But only if you clean it, right?
I tell you what, I take care of it very, very quickly. And Jamie's been here. He sees what happens when we get an antelope down and how fast it is.
We got
And
after it, man.
It
Nothing
tastes
can go from good to bad quicker than a dead antelope.
Very quickly, very
absolutely,
quickly.
absolutely. The second, of course, if you could ever get a tag, is elk, which we have plentiful down in the Badlands now, and either whitetail or mule deer. That's kind of a toss-up because I sure like the way the whitetail taste when they come off of farm country, and they get into some good crops. They taste a lot better that way.
So do muley.
Yeah, but muley, same thing. If they get on some good alfalfa, and but it's all how you take care of them. If you're going to be hunting and doing it for the food, those are my top three. And if you're just going to go out and shoot things, prairie dogs, coyotes. I don't call that hunting. I call that shooting because I went through so much ammunition this calving season. It is just absolutely crazy how thick the coyotes were.
It's
and now
still bad then, or what?
It's still, I got some late calvers and I'm still going through a box a week, man. And
so I take a couple of days off and come down. I mean, you can just go coyote calling or what?
We absolutely, I don't care.
But
now we have black bear in the countryside, so now we're having those issues coming up, but you can't shoot them. So, but as the three goes, first one pronghorn, second elk, and the third would be deer.
Okay, I didn't think you were going to go that route with the first one, but all right, Governor, what do you got for us?
So mine are pretty specific. My favorite thing in hunting to do is to have a big group of guys at our farm that we're taking out pheasant hunting. But that's not the hunt. The hunt is me and my buddy Tanner Hopfoff, who is like my assistant guide for these hunts. While everybody else is having breakfast and everybody else is getting ready, his dog Riggs, which is a professional road hunting dog, gets in the back seat of the side-by-side. Tanner and I go do a scout around our farm just to see what's going on before the birds get in. And my favorite thing in the world to do is to shoot 6 roosters before we take everybody else out hunting. And we're not shooting out the window, we're getting out, but it is definitely ranch hunting, and we are really, really good at it. I'm not saying I'd be good at it on your farm or your dirt, but we know our dirt. We have a blast.
Oh yeah.
It lets us get our bloodlust off before we take everybody else hunting.
That's the thing too. I mean,
dogs and doing all of that. My second favorite is sitting in a blind with my kid with his deer tag, and I don't care if it's a mule deer or whitetail. Doing all of that, teaching him all the things I learned how to do and my dad taught me, and all of that, and just getting to be there because I'm not there as much as I wish I was. And then my third thing is to go duck hunting with my buddies up at Duck Camp in Carpio, because it's the one place when I'm hunting, I am not in charge of anything. Like, they know, they scout the ducks, they help. I mean, I help set up decoys, but I am just a hunter. I don't have to organize any of it. I don't have to do any of it. And I tell you what, there's not a lot of things that are more fun than shooting mallards on a string when they come. So those are my 3 in that order. And it really, to be honest, guys, it has more to do with who I'm with than what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that makes it huge. The older I get, man, like you said, bloodlust. And the guy was younger. I mean, you just wanted to hammer anything to shoot.
I mean, that scouting hunt on our place, we'll more often than not, we'll shoot our limit of pheasants, but we'll also pick up a couple grouse and a couple partridge along the way. So there's still not a lot of places in the world where you can go out and shoot a limit of grouse, partridge, and pheasant if you have a really good day. And we have something special south of Richardson that I'm just really, really, it's my happy place in the world.
What's your go-to pheasant gun then?
So mine is solely dependent on the fact that my gun rides between my kennel and the back window of the side-by-side.
Yeah.
So I'm left-handed, so I had a Benelli M2 20 gauge. They finally came out with that Super Black Eagle 3 and 20 gauge. So that gun will be very, very, the only reason you can't see the rust on my gun is because usually the pheasant blood covers it. So that'll be the before picture. We'll show you an after picture by Thanksgiving of this year.
Awesome. So a lot of people, I will say this real quick, Benelli's, the Black Eagles, a lot of people are, one of them. I shot one a couple times. I gotta say, man, those are freaking awesome shotguns. I don't know. I don't care what anybody thinks if they're a side-by-side guy over and under, or my H70 pump does it. A freaking Benelli Black Eagle is awesome. I'd love shooting.
What they're really good at is being in the back of my Can-Am and getting muddy and getting dirty. they cycle. What they're bad at for me is in a duck blind or a goose blind. So again, left-handed, right? So I'm usually on the right side. If you miss your shoulder on that inertia-driven gun, you get misfeeds if you're not putting it up as well. So
really,
guys I know that do a lot of duck hunting hunt Berettas instead of Benellis, but I prefer a gun I know is going to go bang.
Okay. And what was your boy use there for his bow when you're in the blind?
He's mostly rifle right now. I'm getting him into bow and arrow hunting. He, you know that.
Sig Cross, I thought you told me is what he's got.
Well,
right?
yeah, we've got a Sig Cross 308, and he loves that gun, and it's fantastic. And
almost God's cartridge, almost.
Almost God's cartridge. The 223, right?
Yep. All right. So what? We'll go right in there. Like, what bird dogs you got going, Governor?
So I have an 8-year-old lab that actually lives with my niece now, which is a weird, dumb story. And I just got a Spanish pointing dog. His name is Hank, and so he will not be fully formed and operational this fall. But he loves to retrieve, and he'll start learning pretty quick. So
awesome.
I got to tell you guys, my dad's got he's got a Labradoodle, but it's a hunting Labradoodle. And he was 9 months old last year, and he was better on wounded roosters than my 7-year-old lab. Like, no, I'm like, and it's the best of both worlds because I get a really good hunting dog, and I get to make fun of my dad for hunting with a poodle. It's like just perfect.
You got to remember, poodles were bred to hunt originally.
When I see a Labradoodle, all I'm thinking about is pulling all the cockleburs out of them.
So he shaves them every year before the start of the season.
All right.
That's helpful.
All right.
But I agree with you. I love golden retrievers too until I think about them coming out of a slough or full of cockleburs.
Cool dogs. I like. We got a mutual friend, Kelly. They got 2 Labradoodles. I never even knew what they were really until they had them. So I think they're pretty cool.
Oh, my parents have 2. One is a foo-foo dog and one is a hunting dog.
Foo-foo dog. I love that. Scott, you got that bulldog you hunt with yet, do you anymore? What do you got now?
Oh, the boxer? No, they all had to put all those down. All I got is cow dogs now. Yeah.
Okay.
And I love hunting behind dogs. You get spoiled hunting behind dogs.
I wouldn't even upland hunt without a dog. It's part of the whole experience.
Yeah.
Clay got the wire hair experience there last fall at our place with the blind guys' dogs there.
Wyatt's dogs are great. I hadn't hunted birds like that in several years because we just didn't have them down here. And I hadn't lost my touch, obviously, but that was a blast. I mean, I was dropping pheasants out there, and it took a few long shots, but Wyatt's dogs are right on them, weren't they?
Yeah. I love pointers, man.
Dogs and dog owners are a little interesting. Like, there's too much pride in ownership, So when I guided for my buddies for 10 years, like 95% of whether your dog's going to be a good hunting dog happens before you ever pick him up, right? And then the other 5% really is obedience training and volume.
For sure.
And the vast majority of them are, that 40, 60, 60, 40 range. Like, my lab's a good dog. He's not a very good dog. Like, he's not super good on trailing roosters and all of that, but he's serviceable, and he's a nice pet, and he's fun to be around. And these guys guys who run them and breed them, like, I got a buddy who does, wire hairs and puts the time into it. But the amount of people I used to take hunting that have really good dogs that just don't get out much, it's not the dog's fault and it's not the owner's fault, but don't expect, it's like if you don't practice shooting at all for a year and then you're mad because you can't hit a clay or you can't hit a target, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, I was shooting half-inch groups, 3 years ago, and now I can't. Yeah, practice matters, man. There's no doubt about that. Clay, you want to hit some of these comments, and we're going to get to your top 3 here?
Yeah, we'll catch some of these. So we did the bull fishing one. 18 wheels and a dozen 6 shooters. He says, go ahead, say it. It's as accurate as a Hornady's box velocity.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got. I mean, it's all about 24-inch barrels.
They talk about 1988 PSA Polaris and aluminum arrows. You get looked at like you came out of the Stone Age. Well, Gene, we're a little.
I think that's
advanced.
awesome.
Yes. I know I'm on the Stone Age. What's a few of these other ones?
I think
here?
Fred Bear did okay with some of the old times.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
He did really well.
Josie, antelope's way better than deer. He said.
You know what? I tend to agree. If you do antelope right and take care of it, I much prefer antelope than deer any day. I love antelope, but that was one of my passions for a long time. And if it's taken care of, antelope is great. Gene Cox says, Scott, antelope done right is top-notch eating, bar none. There you go, Scott.
Absolutely.
And of course, we did the what bird dog do you have? So.
Yep. All right, Clay. What do you got for your top three critters you're hunting there in the 701?
My top ones have got to be upland birds. Unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of birds down here. This year's looking awesome. Last year was the first time we hunted birds on our place in a long time. So things are
They look
turning
pretty
around
good down there in youth season when T and I were down. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, and of course I came up to your place and hadn't lost my touch, so I had a blast up there. Brought my sons, and I'm kind of with Kelly.
Better get her going this year because there's a lot of them we're gonna have to knock down.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'll pull the camper up there and we'll have a great weekend. Awesome. But it's who you're with too, and bringing my boys now with me. I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better than that. And that was my son's first hunt, so. As far as upland birds, and he nailed one, which was great because that was his first time out there. So there's nothing like being out there with your
documented.
Kids. Absolutely.
Camera guy did a hell of a job there.
Yeah, he did. Nice job, Jamie. But antelope, I love antelope hunting. I've always loved antelope hunting. We don't have near as many here, but although this year is looking great, I'm telling you. Awesome. Hey, tell him thanks for listening, Kelly. But I love antelope hunting, always have. And then coyotes are my next one. That's my top three. I love the deer hunt, but I'd much rather go out and do some coyote hunting. So
when you guys Clay, so when you let guys deer hunt on your dirt, do you I have a very strict rule. If you see a coyote, your deer hunt's over. I want every coyote dead.
I'm telling you, that's my policy as far as when I'm out there. If I see a coyote, all of a sudden a deer hunt becomes a coyote hunt. But I do love
Me too.
Coyotes. Yeah.
Man, I'm not going to lie to you. If I got a buck tag, I got to let that coyote go, man.
Put a pan on.
How about you, Scott?
If you see a coyote, no matter what you're doing, it turns into a coyote hunt.
It does, don't it?
And sometimes a coyote roping, but I have not been successful at that yet.
I got a story about my uncle, but I'm not going to go into it tonight. But yeah.
I mean, them Rangers can go pretty fast, so can the Kawasaki. So
not out in this country.
Yeah. Oh, I've been on your land, Scott. You can go way faster at your place than you ever could in our pasture.
But yeah, so it's upland birds, mostly pheasant and grouse, antelope, and then coyotes. That's my top three, Jamie. And of course, you know what my favorite coyote gun is. It's the one we built, and that's the 220 Swift. Yep. That is my coyote gun.
270s, your antelope and deer.
It is.
I don't remember the shotgun one, though. You said right at the beginning of the video there. What was it?
It's a Model 1200. I mean, that's my old go-to. It's an old gun. That's the one I was using up there. Or my Browning. I love my BPS. But I'm telling you, my 1200 or my BPS, that's my two go-to
There you
guns.
go.
Really there we go. So, yeah.
All right. Josie says if I'm out deer hunting and I see a coyote, it's game on. Bullets are flying.
Yes, they are, aren't they?
I remember Scott actually. Okay, so you see that right here? This right here?
Yeah.
That I still remember. That's when the biggest whitetail I ever got. Right about 10 minutes before that, I shot this coyote, and I sent you a picture, and I got in a pickup, and then you're like, "Hey, I got a picture from Jamie out there, and he shot it. Oh, nice, he shot it in the head too." And then my dad's like, "What the hell? How's he already know about that?" I said, "I took a picture out there," and so I got that and my biggest whitetail on Dakota Prairie Outdoor. I didn't get you the deer picture right away, but
kind of like last year youth hunting, Jamie. We had your daughter out there. And we sent a picture. We had Scott on in the background listening to that as you were cleaning that deer, and we sent him pictures, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
well, she sniped it, which I loved.
Awesome,
that was great. So, all right, I'll go. My top three. Number one, Number one was easy for me. Mule deer, buck. I could drill down a little more specific than you guys. Muley, buck for sure. I'm kind of a muley snob. I mean, I like getting a whitetail tag, but the muleys are taking over my unit. So, yeah, and it used to be 308 all the time, but now I'm a 6.5 Creed. Scott turned me over. My dad bought one. He flipped me over to 6.5 Creed. Not that I'm anti-3. I love 308. That's why I told Kelly it's almost God's cartridge. It's not, but it's not. Number two.
I spoke to him yesterday. He said he didn't say any of that stuff to you.
There you go, right there. That's right. That's right. Number two. Yeah, I'm with Scott. I mean, Scott says it all the time. It's not really hunting. It's more like shooting. The only time I've actually ever hunted this critter was with Clayton, and we belly crawled through the trees and stuck our muzzles out, and then
we nailed them that day, didn't we?
It worked awesome. That was pre-suppressor even, Clay. Prairie dogs love shooting. I mean, man, it was all. I almost put it number one, really, because I like to shoot a lot.
And that town's gone now, Jamie. They poisoned it out.
I mean,
that was a fun town.
Good for the landowner. Crying goddamn shame for you and me, but
I got a section of them. You guys can come down and shoot.
Hey, when I come down, I'm serious, Scott. I'm gonna come down. I want to do some coyote hunting with you. Let's do the prairie dog thing again, and
let's make it happen.
I'd love to do it. God, I'd love to do that. And I'm actually going back to the soft points for most of my shit. Shiloh says I have a Henry 6.5. What was that, Clay? 6.5 Creed, and he loves it. Yeah, lever action. Them Henrys are pretty much on par.
They're nice.
Not quite as a bolt pre-rattlesnake den. Doug says yes. Yeah, and I'm going back to pretty much soft point shooting prairie dogs and everything. When Double H is our sponsor, Daryl got me back in on the soft points because I was we need a ballistic tip. Them soft points work damn good. So number three, I know people are going to be like, what are you talking about? Beavers. I love when I see a beaver in our creek, I get freaking gamey big time. I start getting giddy and crazy. I love it. I love shooting them, fishing them out of the creek, especially when you get like one of them big hogs out of there, because we don't got a lot of trees, man. And when they're eating your trees, it freaking annoys the living shit out of me. And when I get them and pull them out and they're like a 40-pound beaver, biggest beavers I ever seen shot. Scott, you had some big ones there at that. What do you call that crossing?
The 3V crossing. Yeah.
Yeah. You pulled some cute, but the bar none the biggest beavers I've ever seen. Marty Beard shot them. I mean, I couldn't even believe there's beavers that big around here. I'm glad they're not in our creek system up there in the Goodman Creek, but yeah.
Well, we got those at the ranch now. They're right alongside the river of some of our fence line. They're taking all our pine trees down and dropping them right on the fence line right now. So
see, that's what I like. Yeah. I mean, beavers are cool, man. I mean, they make some good dams and flood everything, and a lot of times I'll let it go because it makes nice little pools back there. But yeah, and I will go 4. I'll go back to whitetail buck, and then I'm gonna go 5 quill pig. I love shooting porcupines too, man.
Do you guys think? I think a trophy mule deer is probably the hardest thing to kill in North America. Like everybody, I grew up hunting them in the Badlands during the rut, and for about 5 days they're dumb, and the rest of the time they're not dumb, and they live in tough places to get to.
Oh yeah,
and, I mean, I think shooting like 190-inch mule deer is probably as hard a thing to hunt in North America as anything.
Oh, for sure. And people are like, mule deer are stupid. And I'm like, I don't know if they're stupid. They're just not as scared of stuff like a whitetail just blow up. But yeah, like huge mule deer, like you're saying 190 plus. Yeah, I mean, some people are like, what do you mean 190 is huge? Well, where I'm at, 190 is huge. So
190 is a big mule deer anywhere.
Yeah, I mean.
The other answer too, and this is one of the things I think Clayton's heard me do this before too, is like, talk about all the stories you have hunting. Does the story change that much if it was 142-inch whitetail versus 150-inch whitetail?
No, probably not.
Sometimes, and I used to be bad at this, and like, I think hunting with kids a lot and seeing how damn excited they get about stuff. Like some of my best stories are waiting for a pickup to pick me up because we've screwed everything up so bad, and now we've got a truck stuck in a washout, and we're looking at each other and we're like, "Well, that didn't work."
As much as I love taking them big deer, and I've had plenty of success doing it here, especially on this place, but some of the most memorable ones are either with kids, family, or friends. But the worst one was when I dropped into a little washout and I froze my feet, and I was 2 miles away from where I needed to be. That was horrible. But it's one of the most memorable ones because it was painful too.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have your own dirt and you're trying to like manage a population and grow deer, it's great. But I think sometimes we get too I mean, I've had deer that have been in my head. Don't kid yourself. Like,
I got one in there right now for my game camera, to be honest.
Yeah, but for the most part, I think sometimes we like forget. Like, you can get so radicalized at it, you're not even having fun doing it anymore. Like, you're waking up 6 days in a row, and you're like, God.
Well,
yeah, you get to take a day.
I like what Josie said. All the stories are awesome, no matter the size of the game. It's a great point, and he's right. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, the older I get, the less. I mean, I like what Kelly's talking about. When I was younger, I mean, it always had, you got to get something bigger. You got to get something bigger. You got to get something bigger. And I don't know. I just got to a point where I'm like, I like this deer, and if I mean, I'm obviously not going to shoot a dink like you.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, a 3.5-year-old 130-inch deer can't grow when it's dead. Like, I mean, I mean, 100% of the time, it's not getting any bigger if you kill it. But like, shooting a mature 4.5-year-old deer and doing it right with the right people and having the story and you know, all of it, like right up to like.
Yeah, I shot
skinning it and getting in the freezer and having a couple beers and smoking a cigar and like.
Perfect. And
maybe it's just because I don't get to do it as much as I used to, so I'm not as mad at things as I used to be.
Well, Scott, when I come down there and got the antelope with you, Scott said we tried to stalk the one right there, right, that herd, and they got away from us. I went and he's like, "You sure you want to shoot that one?" And I said, 100%, I'll shoot that one. And he wouldn't come in. And Scott said, "We'll just drive straight at his ass and see what happens." Well, sure as shit, we did.
And then he started walking right to us.
Yeah, we jumped out, and then I remember I shot. Scott didn't think I was going to shoot. He was kind of half trotting, going, wait, and I shot, and Scott's like, "Oh, shit." Yeah, got him. That was awesome. We got him. He's like, "How about let's go get mine?" When you shot your doe, and yeah, like you said, we skinned him out, and you had we put him up on the bale lip there and skinned him out. You had the pressurized, what the hell was that thing again?
It's a water fire extinguisher. We call them silver bullets.
Awesome. If you don't have one, get one.
Yeah, that was freaking. That was one of the funnest hunts I had, man. I mean, not a trophy antelope by any means, but I mean, I got him. His head's in my garage, and I look at it all the time and think about that, and it's great. I had a great time.
We left the shop. We had a beer, left the shop, and we were back in 48 minutes.
Yeah, with both of us done.
Yeah,
it was great.
That's not like when we took your daughter out. We weren't out there very long, were we?
No, we drove right headed north of your place, and right over there they were there, and
that's just it. Some of the most memorable hunts aren't necessarily trophies. I mean, everybody likes to get the trophy, but I don't know. Some of my most memorable hunts don't include trophies. That's for sure.
Right. So, all right, Kelly, you said you want to talk about a little 4th of July fireworks here. What do you got to hit on that for us?
So, it turns out you can put a price on fun.
Yeah.
I went into Memory Fireworks the other day, and it's, you know, they have the basket, they have the cart, and then they have the running cart. Like where you're hauling 1,000 pounds of feed out to your truck.
Yep.
So I don't love it when the Lake Sakakawea water's down, but we have perfect beach conditions. We have a 4th of July on a Friday, and I think the 7 largest communities in North Dakota probably put off a bigger fireworks show than me and my son will put off. but I think I rival most small towns.
Awesome.
So my wife, it just drives my wife crazy. She's like, it's too long. It takes too long. It's like, this is all of this. But last year we skipped because I was running for governor, so I just didn't have time to do it. And so we took a ton of heat in my parents' neighborhood. So if anybody's around Pick City over tomorrow night or Friday night over the 4th, we will have the Armstrong and Son Redneck Extravaganza. But we've gotten better at it. Like the first year we did it, we didn't have enough, and it was a free for all. Too many mortars. Like some things happened that
I like mortars.
This would be on a safety video, and now we've kind of got it figured out to the point where we put on a pretty sophisticated show, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
So what do you think is the best thing to light them with? Because I know you're not lighting them big suckers with a punk. You did the hand torch. Is that what you guys use?
So my mom, I mean, we have backups. We have 3 fire extinguishers, ear protection, eye protection. But my mom has this thing where you walk around and kill weeds in your rocks with.
I've heard of these.
Yeah, propane torch.
It just hooks onto a propane tank. And so we've had, the headlamps are a must.
Like the little one, like the map gas one, or what?
Yeah, just like you put on a Blackstone grill, but I get the longer blue ones instead of the stubby ones. They're just easier to use. Okay. But it's like, think about killing a weed in your rocks, in your landscaping, like torching it. So you can just hold it basically waist high and walk around and do it.
Perfect.
And they got a light on the side, and it's, we have redundancy built in, so we don't ever run out of space. So, but we do it pretty well, and it's a lot of fun. My son still has all his fingers. I still have all my fingers. We've had a couple close calls over the years, but it's just we're going to put on a pretty massive fireworks display on the 4th of July up at Pick City.
Awesome.
We used to use a torch. I probably won't ever do them again without one of those boards, and I know what they are. We used to do those when I was with the fire department, and I had a pretty bad accident. About 2015? So yeah, I'm never gonna get.
God, that was that long ago.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
I'm gonna hit some of these comments here. 18 Wheels says prairie dogs are on my bucket list. Well, I guarantee you, if you get up Clay's area, we can get you a prairie dog. Yeah, they don't have those over in Massachusetts, do they?
I don't know. Virginia, Massachusetts, probably not. I don't know.
They got woodchucks over there.
There you go. There you go. I mean, there's a little alternative agenda here in this comment. 18 Wheels and dozen 6-shooters. I used to live to hunt beaver before I got married.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Josie says a guy I worked with trapped a 62-pound beaver a couple years ago, had a full body mount done. 62 pounds.
Holy
is
cow.
massive. That's a freaking huge beaver. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you got that one. Gene says if the temp is below 0, I'm not mad at it either. Yeah, it does suck gutting deer when it's cold.
I got a couple box blinds you can put a space heater in. You can stay pretty warm.
Yeah, get the shop warmed up, man. Scott's got a nice shop there. Hey, I told you that, Scott. My dad, I told him about your electronic hoist there. Yeah, he got one, and we all love that now. So,
Andy, the answer is you lie to him. Tell him it's chicken.
Yeah. It's about the truth, isn't it? It really is.
Put it in a slow cooker with barbecue sauce, man.
I'm telling you, I've fed it before the boys knew what they were, pheasant and grouse, and they thought it was great, and they still eat it today. But yeah, you can't tell them what it is. I don't know.
Well, Tammy made that pheasant up there in her flying saucer for us. That was awesome, man.
That was great.
Tots and
but I mean, I like you guys were talking about good mule deer on alfalfa. Like good corn-fed mallards are good.
Yes,
we eat. I mean, we eat a ton of pheasant, but I would also. I mean, I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say any recipe you have with pheasant tastes better with chicken.
Right. I always say that too about pheasant. I mean, I want it to taste like chicken, but it never does.
You know, but so that was the other nice thing about having 2 dogs and running them all year long. Like I always had something to eat my snow geese. Like I couldn't keep weight on a pointer, so if I shot snow geese, we'd breast them out, and The only, I mean, you don't want to, I mean, somebody try and figure out how a snow goose tastes so good, because I've never figured it out.
Yeah.
I can tell you the only thing I've done is took geese, Canadian and snow geese, and jerkied them or put them in sticks.
That's
and they're
the
not
best
too
way I've had 'em.
bad. But other than that, yeah. I'm
And
not a
even
fan.
that, I was like, this ain't bad, but I mean, compared to what it.
Because I used to love to go out to Montana and we'd float
But
the river.
honkers are different. I mean, you can make jerky and sausage and stuff out of honkers. The only way I had an old timer tell me one time the best way to cook a snow goose is put a big rock in the middle of the pot, boil all the snow goose breasts. When you're done, throw the breasts away and eat the rock.
There's a lot of truth there.
I
I'm not a
mean,
big fan.
things are 17 years old.
What do you think? What's your go-to? Like, if I was gonna come out and I'm gonna make you some duck, what's your go-to duck recipe?
My go-to duck recipe is pretty simple: salt, pepper, maybe a little garlic. Breast them out. I don't pluck them. Like I will if I have time, but leave the fat on the breast, on one side of the breast. Leave it heavy, and grill it like a steak.
Really? Okay.
It's also, by the way, I love sharp tails. Love them.
Oh, I love
to eat
Sharpies.
sharp tails. But if I shoot Sharpies, I don't even want to freeze them. Like I want to.
Fresh.
I think my personal experience is there's no meat that tastes different, fresh versus frozen, more than a sharp tail.
Gene, I'm laughing because Gene's.
Yeah. I'll put it up there. If I want a goose, I remember the grocery store sells beef liver. Oh my goodness! You know him, Scott. That's the mayor of Mulbridge.
Oh yeah.
But we do, guys. We do that at the end of the year. We take all our I call them freezer sticks. Like we'll take whatever's left at the end of the year: pheasant, grouse, geese, whatever. Take them in, grind it up, and mix it 30% pork, and make a bunch of sticks, and they're good. They're good. I mean, they're not. It's not like they're edible. They're good.
My buddy used to do that with pheasant breast. He'd grind it up and then he'd put cheddar cheese in there and make like pheasant patties and do it. That stuff was freaking awesome.
Oh, pheasant's great. I mean, you can use that. We've used that in fajitas as rather than using chicken. We raise our own chickens now, but pheasant's great. As far as Sharpies go, as long as they like around here, there isn't a lot of sage. They taste great. I mean, they really do. I eat a lot of sharp tails around here.
The problem is the next day in the truck, everybody smells like Sharpies.
Oh yeah. Oh, anyway,
Look at the
give
dogs.
me, man.
But all a dog
Scott loves them, don't you, up there?
All a dog has to do is retrieve a sharp tail, and you're going to have that smell in your truck on the way home.
Oh God.
What do you call them? Prairie carp up there, Scott?
Yeah, prairie carp.
Yeah, I'm with Scott on that.
I can tell you right now, there is no shortage of sharp-tailed grouse. There truly isn't. I mean, I have hundreds and hundreds of them on this place. And of course, they're a native bird, so they do well. And there's no shortage of sharp.
We've been on a little bit of run of Sharpies and partridge the last 3 or 4 years, which means they cycle so weird. I mean, we had as many coveys of partridge on our place last year as I've ever seen.
I've seen more partridge this year around here than I've probably seen in 10 years. The partridge are just heavy, and it's kind of nice seeing them out there in them fields. I've lifted up and I've actually moved nests and left a little grass for them while I'm haying. And I'm telling you, there are so many Sharpies and partridge around here that I can't believe it. So I don't know. Mother Nature must be taking care of it. What's that?
I call them prairie ninjas.
If you can hit them,
you'll get a covey rise
They're
out
fast.
of a stubble field when you're driving around. You'll watch the bush they land in. You'll go over there, and you cannot find them for the life of you. And then when they get up, you miss twice because they're not where you thought they were.
Oh, yeah. And they're fast. If you can hit them, you're doing good, just like doves.
All right, Clayton, we better hit our last ad here. Scott, we still haven't got to your. I told you either you bring a topic or you're going to pull one out of your hat, and Scott's going to pull one out of the Bachmeier cap there.
So let's thank some sponsors here. Of course, Guns & 701 powered by Lauer Auto, and we'll be right back after this break.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 303 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we're back. Hey, Horton now over there. They've been down in Florida lately, Jamie, but they're on their way home from what I hear. So they do some great jobs.
Good, because I am going to get something from them, and I did just buy a couple guns from Little Angry Man Arms. That's right, Clayton.
Yep.
When we come out with the monthly, did we crest another 1 million gun sales?
We did, didn't we? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm hoping that, I know Jake's been working on suppressors, so I'm hoping he's got that up and running when that big, beautiful bill gets passed. Maybe
Not yet. I did see what he's doing there, though, but
right.
it might be a while on those. And, Bloodline, he's back building a gun for
there you go, Kelly. You want your next suppressor, go head on down to Bloodline Kinetics. He's going to be making his own pretty soon.
Well, Scott had him on.
How many's enough?
Never enough.
Never
enough.
I have a lot of cans.
To me, I can never have enough ammo, and I can never have enough cans. I got enough guns, but cans,
enough guns either.
Yeah, well, Clay does, and he's got.
This is just a sampling behind me.
Hey, and if you guys do, again, real quick, anybody, you go out and do some business with any of our sponsors, tell them thanks for, you appreciate them supporting Guns on the 701. Without them, this ain't happening. We appreciate all of our sponsors.
You know, Kelly, though, I can't take it out. It's too nice. So I leave that right there.
Yeah, Clay's got his. That's like a save queen, man. I've had you count a number of videos.
Oh, yeah.
Might even be in there on that 50 cal one on Independence Day morning. We'll see what happens.
People love those things. They're fun. I mean,
I do.
So,
Awesome.
I mean, you know, I love the hat too, but like the amount of hats and like vests and Yeti mugs that everybody is like, it took us. I'm like, why don't we just give people an ammo can? And they're like,
Yeah.
because you just, even people who don't hunt or like don't particularly use it, it's like, it's a cool thing.
Absolutely. I thought those were the best. Although I got to get another hat from you, so we'll have to visit because I think Jamie gave the other one away, which I was fine with at that time.
Well, I had the one and I was on the river, and the guy's like, I got to have that cap, man. I said, all right.
Hey, it's red, white, and blue.
So I got like the old school. This is like Armstrong for Congress. This isn't even for governor, but
I got those too. I'll get you those.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. All right, Scott. What do you got, buddy? You gonna pull a rabbit out of the hat?
Coming out of the break, I have a question. You have a bullet coming out of a pistol, but the slide isn't moving.
I knew something was wrong with that.
How the heck does that work? I want
There you go.
to get that from some Democrat that says that a
You know
AR
that
is a killing
it's that
machine. or
stock
something.
footage you find.
Oh
online.
my God, that's hilarious.
Actually, you know who you can blame, Scott? You can blame.
God, it's
blame
one of those
Deacons.
AK-15s.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
Those AR-47s.
We'll throw Deacons under the bus on that one. He's the one that found that.
Oh, I always looked at that and I'm like, something's wrong here. And Scott finally got it figured. I'm like, the bullet's spinning to the right, and you know, it's just the bullet coming out, not the whole cartridge
Confused
like they
on
like
that.
to do in the
It's
AR-15.
just as bad as when NRA came out with that one where the bullet was on fire, or actually it was the whole casing. You know,
Yeah, there's a
Friends of
whole
NRA.
case came out of it.
It's
Yeah.
like, God, really, we're the NRA. You should get that right at least.
Well, Uncle Wayne's gone now, so.
The only thing I got to say is I met up with a guy that was a Vietnam vet a while back, and we were just discussing. You can hear that on my daily programs. I interviewed him, and one of the things that I really have been forced to change over the years of being in radio is calling Independence Day the 4th of July. Right? He made a good thing. He's like, then why don't you call Christmas the 25th of December? Call it what it is.
Independence
It's
Day.
our most important day that the United States has.
Yep.
And I think we should call it what it is. And I think there's some people that get triggered by it because they're like, oh, that means that we're fighting the British and all this. It's like, absolutely. You got to know your history
Absolutely.
about it too. So
Lobster
Independence Day over 4th of July. That's just my big take on it. And I just encourage everybody else to call it what it really truly is.
Agree. And I try to call it Independence Day as much as I can, which, I mean, it's actually become, because growing up, I always called it the 4th.
Yeah.
But yeah. Years ago, I started saying Independence Day, and now it comes out most of the time Independence Day. And even my daughter said, she said, are we going on the river Independence Day? And I was like, God, it's awesome.
That's nice.
She's been listening. I love
my,
it.
My grandpa was a World War II vet, and he pounded that into my head. So I guess I've always called it Happy Independence Day.
It's just like during Christmas, somebody, like if we go travel, somebody says Happy Holidays. I'm like, which one? And they're like, well, Christmas. I'm like, well, then just say Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
You know, but I get that you're trying to cover everything, but no, that's all I had.
Right.
I guess, again, Independence Day here on Friday, and just remember what happened and why we're as a country and standing together, and we should still stay together the same way.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Well,
And I'm sure everybody knows, but you can catch Scott every single Saturday live on KFYR, which we're also there.
Except this Saturday,
Except
Clay.
this Saturday.
Because there is only one holiday I do take off for radio, and that is Independence Day weekend. So,
but usually
they might be running a rerun or something. They might have a Independence Day weekend programming. I'm not sure, but it's very rare I take a day off. And
I would recommend, if Todd's going to replay one, do one when I was hosting with him. You have me on.
And of course, we're not going to be on Friday either. So, but usually you can catch you every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Sorry, I was in the p.m. a.m. Mountain Central Time. So Let's tune in.
What do you got in that Lauer Auto Repair mug there, Clay?
Too
Man.
much, I can tell you that.
Scott, you gonna shoot some guns off there on Independence Day or not?
So Dixie and I are heading to Vegas, and there is some shooting ranges down out in the desert that allow you to do full auto.
Oh, there's some great ones out there.
I have never shot full auto. I have never had the opportunity to do that, and I wouldn't mind trying to see what it feels like and just try to do something different.
Which one are you heading to, Scott? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not. I haven't looked it up yet, Clay, or anything. I know there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, we went to one when last time we were out there. It was about 20 minutes out. There we go doing the minute thing, but it was about 20 minutes out, and that was fun. It wasn't real long range, but it was a lot of fun. We got to use a ton of different firearms that were full auto.
Yeah. No, I just try to do something different than people watch. I'm not a gambler. I do that every day with cattle.
Either.
So
yeah.
Gene, Kelly, you ever shoot some full auto?
I've never done it. I mean, I've done.
Goodness.
I haven't either.
I've done bump stocks and
redneck
bump stock with the
hook your finger in the belt and pull it forward and back.
But people like it.
Full auto.
I would love to I'd probably want to do a saw, something 223 where you can actually handle it.
God's card. Absolutely.
But,
absolutely, God's card.
Yeah, and anytime you could shoot like the old cool stuff, like an old M16 or, some of the stuff that actually, like the Modus, things that actually.
Modus is fun. It really is.
That actually have historical significance, and you can kind of think, you get to do it in that controlled setting, and now imagine it when, mortar shells are going off next to you, and you haven't seen you get shipped out across the ocean. You haven't seen her. They didn't have cell phones, right? So you're sending letters back and forth, and what that mattered. I think it would be really fun to do. I think it would give you a little bit of perspective, but also at the same time,
I had the opportunity to shoot a German I think they were called MG42, and I believe that was the one where you interchange the barrels. That was a ton of fun, but you have to change them barrels out because they get hot. But I'm telling you,
we cobbed that design for the M60, the pig.
Yes, that's exactly what that was copied after.
I did, however, get to fly a B-52 this week, which was pretty cool.
I haven't done that. That's cool.
So we got to go up to Minot, and they took us up on a 3-hour run. I ran a simulated bombing of Devil's Tower, so if Wyoming ever gets out of line...
Oh, that's badass.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
So what'd you guys do? Did you just how close did you fly down to Devil's Tower or did you just a high level? Here's where we
drop those things... One of the cooler parts about the B-52 is the culture in the Air Force around them. Everybody, it doesn't matter. We're talking guns, we're talking bows, we're talking trucks, we're talking side-by-sides, let alone, we've got the best technology, the best AI, the best, all of those things. And in the Air Force particular, everybody's interested in their shiny new thing, right? What's the next gen fighter? What's everything else? And the B-52 guys, they want to fly those things for 100 years. And they're still... And, we're sending the B-2s and they're stealth, and we leave from the U.S., we bomb Iran, we're out of airspace before they even know we're there.
Yeah.
The B-52s are exactly the opposite. They show up when everybody wants to just point out that we actually have a flying fortress that, even at a non-nuclear capability, can rock your world in a real meaningful way. And we're here now, right? They did their European missions after Sweden joined NATO, and they legitimately flew them over there to make sure everybody was just fully aware where we stood on this stuff. And the guys are great. They're huge. They take it seriously. It's iconic. They're just really cool to be. It was really cool to be a part of it.
So what do the pilots love?
Weren't they named the Stratoforce? Isn't that what the Stratofortress, if I remember right?
Yeah, and just wingspan, what they can carry on each wing, plus what they have. They're huge airplanes, and I'm just telling you, the vast majority of that space is not used for creature comfort for the people flying them.
Well, you think about something like that. What I think it was 1955, 1956 when they came about.
Mhm.
They're still in service. They're awesome.
M16.
They're awesome.
The central nervous system's been updated quite a bit.
I'm sure, yeah.
But the skeleton's the same thing, right? Like it's the same B-52 that came off the line, but the culture around it and the guys that work on them and the guys that fly them, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you never hear about it anymore. It sounds like you said the B2 Spirit, and I haven't B-52. Just I kind of almost forgot about them really till you just brought that up. But yeah, them things have been in service for so long.
I know.
And I mean, there's nothing like in line to replace them, right?
No, I mean, they supplement them, modify, move into different like mission sets, but I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end if a squadron of B-2s decided that they didn't like us anymore, right? Like it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
You guys were a thriving military base. Congratulations, you're a parking lot now.
Yeah. Do they still have some? I'm trying to remember. I know Ellsworth used to have a few too, but I don't know if they still do.
I believe Ellsworth does have some.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, I think
Dan
they
says
still-
the last ones were built in early 60s. Yeah, there you go. I know they've had a ton of upgrades to them, of course, which you'd want with anything that you keep in service. But they've been around for a long time, and they're a magnificent machine.
All right, I'm gonna get a few of these comments back here, guys. Dave says, or Gene says that Dave, wild game sausage is best when it's 100% pork.
That's a little like mixing cream and mushroom soup into something.
Yeah. Oh, but
exactly.
that's what my grandpa was. It was a grouse. He's like, I got some cream grouse. You're gonna love it. I'm like, God, I'm not though.
Nah.
But I ate it anyways. Dave says you have enough ammo when you consider warning the fire department a particular portion of the house might be spicy.
So I used to tell them here.
Let's see. Scott, I'm not even getting out of bed if you're not broadcasting. That's what Gene says. I mean, that's the thing, man. I've actually done that a few years, and I was like, got up and I'm going to get some coffee, and I'm like, oh, Scott's not on. Screw it. I'm going to lay here. Dave says a German buzz MG42 for sure. That was a MG42, a German buzz.
Things are awesome. I mean, they're an enemy rifle, but they're fun to shoot.
Yep. Well, you read that one of Dan's about it, but did you read this Dave's got here? The B-52 is 8th or 9th gen now. That's crazy to see a workhorse that just keeps going. Yeah, that's what I said. It came out right about the time the Stoner invented the M16, and still running good.
Well, and the other thing too, right? Like, as the older I get, I mean, those guys running those things, and you forget it even when you're talking to them. I mean, they're nuclear, like
right.
And these guys are closer to my daughter, way closer to my daughter's age than my age, and I mean, they are wound up, and I mean. They are as good as it gets in the world at war fighting. And it's kind of nice to have a president and a secretary of defense that cares about war fighting now.
Yes.
Right.
And
love it.
If you get a chance, like I also got to go to the change of command in Grand Forks. I mean, sometimes my job's really cool. Get to go up on a B-52 and then got to go see the change of command at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. But when you sit and talk to our airmen and you talk to the guys that are flying this and that are running the weapon systems, and you look at how serious they are and how smart they are and how dedicated they are and how patriotic they are, and then you realize that 90% of the decisions that get made far too often don't actually make their lives easier or safer or better. And you just really want to like look at them and be like, half the time I just want to be like, you guys are awesome. If we just stayed the hell out of your way, things would be better off.
Let them do their job. Absolutely.
No doubt.
Remember when my sister lived down in Box Elder, we'd go down there to watch them B-1s though come over. That was pretty cool too. They're quite a machine, but they're really kind of, until they hit that high speed, they kind of are junky, and their air, they got airflow through them. You talk to the pilots of those guys. They're kind of hard to fly, but when you get up there and get them going, then they turn into the machine they were built for.
So Kelly, our man, 18 wheels and a dozen 6-shooters out there in Massachusetts says, speaking of warning the fire department, we are only quotations allowed to have 1 pound of powder and 1 brick of primers in house and only allowed 200 rounds of ammo. Hey man, you know, if you disagree with Kelly on a few things or any other of our politicians, you know, like just remember where you're at. North Dakota is freaking awesome. And do I disagree with some of our politicians? Well, yeah, I do. But man, Minnesota, my aunt and uncle live in Minnesota, Kelly, they would freaking die to have you as their governor over there. And Massachusetts,
well,
same way. I think
Kelly
Maureen
already showed him.
Healey's the governor there. I think she's an insane anti-Second Amendment.
Kelly already showed him how to use a shotgun. Remember?
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
never has one person tried so hard to be tough and failed so miserably.
Oh,
wildly bad.
Yeah, well, he said he could outshoot all the Republicans in the House and all, and well, he tried to take on.
We've all had a gun jam or a cycle issue, and after you get done, like I've had people get their fingers stuck, like this stuff happens, but I wouldn't voluntarily like let that be on camera. If my friend had an iPhone out, I'd be like, the phone would mysteriously disappear.
Well, he just had on his. Well, Scott, you were saying like how many rounds do you bring to a prairie dog town when you're taking prairie dog shooting?
Good grief.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the last guy that came out here right before branding, you know, he came out and he brought 1 box, and we didn't even get through the gate, and that was done. So we came back and he got 200 rounds, and we went through that before we even got to the end of the prairie dog town. So when we had Savage and those guys used to come out, they would send a pallet. It was like 15,000 rounds just for 3 days.
I mean, the real Santa Claus showed up.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, in Massachusetts, who polices what you have? How do they know?
Exactly. Yeah. They got the ammo rounds police going around.
Yeah. I mean,
well, he did say that's what they're allowed. He didn't say that's what he keeps.
Right. Exactly.
I couldn't handle it. I have a very strict rule about ammo. It'll never be cheaper than it is now.
That's right. There you go.
Speaking of that, if you are worried, if you haven't bought ammo because of ammo prices, get out there and buy it all the time now because it's getting really affordable. And hey, some people bag on Shields and Bismarck, but Shields has pretty damn good ammo prices, man. I was just down there and I bought some. And I've always told people that I'm like, hey, check it out. I mean, they don't have like the huge bulk things like ammo to go or whatever. But I mean, if you're going down, you want to buy 200 rounds. I don't know. You can't really beat Shields if you factor in. Not obviously they don't sponsor us, but Brandon, get
unless
back on
unless
board,
you're
man.
buying 28 Nosler. Let me tell you, that's a tough one to swallow every time I buy a box of that when it's on the shelf.
It's a tough one to swallow every time you shoot a box.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is no fun to shoot. I'm like, great. Like, I'm the ballistics on this gun are awesome. And if I shoot another 2 boxes of ammo out of it, I'm going to develop the worst flinch that ever existed.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Fleet Farm in Bismarck. I've been to the one in Rapid because that's been there a lot longer. But they used to have some pretty good deals if they had it in stock. But I'll be honest, I reload most.
I think Runnings is a little better than Fleet Farm right now.
I go to Runnings because I mean I pick up pretty much everything else when I go through that store. So
yeah, I just went down and actually bought some fence posts. We're gonna put up my dad's hunting blind on it. And they actually had better prices than Menards, which kind of shocked me. I even told the guy, he's like, "We do?" I said, "Yeah, you're beating them pretty good here." So
I should ask Scott this: have you ever planted any sandfoin as your food plots, or Kelly?
I haven't.
It didn't work so well.
Okay.
You need moisture for that to work. But I had a neighbor of mine. He tried it and it didn't work out so well.
I know I got a food plot I'm going to be trying out. I thought I'd try that. My bee guy was excited. He said the bees love it, and you know I've expanded my bee areas on here, so that's why I was wondering about it. I've never planted it, don't know nothing about it, but that was a suggestion. I was wondering what it was like.
Yeah. Corn and soybeans, man. Can't beat
Corn's
that.
definitely going in for food plots. There's no doubt about that. And radishes, I was surprised when guys were telling me turnips and radishes, and then you can plow that back in, and It's really good for soil too.
You get these other comments in your Clay. The rest of the powder can identify as pepper, and the primers hop rods.
No, I didn't. Nice.
Josh says, "I'd be screwed. 200 rounds. That's it. My kids have more than that." Yeah, for sure.
Heck, I got more than that in my pickup.
Yeah, he says 18 wheels and a dozen 6-shooters. They don't, but we do now have to record the amount of ammo, who bought it, and caliber, and when they buy it at the gun shop. God,
You need to move, man.
Yeah, no move. Come on out. We'll more. You can truck from out here.
Honest to God,
come
there's
on.
no way that passes the freaking Bruin test. There's no way that passes scrutiny. Not even close. That's why they went. Hey, that's why Independence Day happened, man. The British were coming. We're coming. You can't have that. We got to
look at Illinois, Jamie. You got the FOID card, and that's what that is. They got to have that to buy ammo now, so you know that they're tracking that.
Yeah. Horse shit, man.
Dave, you got to reload those big magnums. Yes, I do reload my 338 Lapua because it's too expensive otherwise to shoot.
I have to build up brass, and so I'm still shooting brass to build it up.
How many rounds do you think he got through the 28, Scott?
Well, I have shot one coyote with it and one elk, and Dixie shot her elk with it, so 3 rounds. Besides the 5 rounds to zero in the burst eliminator.
So was that a custom-made rifle, or did you buy that?
Yep. Alliance Custom Armory built that for me years ago when we were doing coyote tournaments, and Brent Meyer, Chris Meyer, I should say, him and his brother, we got to be talking, and he says, "Let me build your rifle." And boy, I tell you what, it's a nice one. It's especially for big game. It did cut a coyote in half though, which was kind of fun.
Scott, what's it weigh?
Oh geez, I think bear. I mean, without the scope, I think it's like less than 5 pounds.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, it's really light. With the scope, it's probably right around that 7 pounds. But
what kind of can you're
so you're running a break or a can then?
I'm running a silencer, absolutely. And the bad part is I have an old style. I got like one of the first stainless steel ones that came out, so that adds a little bit of weight. But it's 0 recoil on this thing. I mean, you can keep your eye on the scope. You know, I took that elk at 750 some yards, and I never once lost visual with him.
With a 5-pound 28 nozzler?
Yeah.
With a can on it.
Yeah. The bare bones is 5 pounds, but everything else, I mean, it probably weighs 10, 11.
I didn't have cans yet when I had mine, and mine was, I built it for mountain hunting, and so I was probably maybe a little bit, and I even with the brake on it, I was just like, I can't, I wonder how, I mean, because cans are better than brakes anyway.
I think so.
I'd probably be okay with it now, but
yeah, I'd love for you guys.
in the 6.5 PRC, so we're just going to stick with those for a while.
That's what I call the governor's cartridge now, and I tell people that.
If anybody has wants to try the 28 nozzle with a can, man, it's just like shooting a 6.5 or anything like that now. There's hardly any recoil.
And I think like just straight up, again, the gun outperforms me as a shooter, but I think you'd be hard pressed to put killing numbers and ballistic numbers on paper that are better than a 28 nozzler.
I agree. They're really good. Yeah.
So what's your muzzle velocity on that? What grain bullet and shit do you use?
Oh, good question. I think I'm running to 178s on that.
Oh shit, a big one. Okay.
Something in there. Velocity, I think it's like 30. It's not as much as you'd think. It's like only like 3,000, 3,100
that's
maybe.
Pretty deadly with that big of a freaking pill.
Yeah.
Not that it much matters, but what are you running for bullets?
I am using a trophy grade. It's only one that makes them. Well, good question. There's only one company that I can find ammo for.
Are you running AccuBonds?
Right? No. Okay. I am not. I'd have to go get. Like I said, I've only shot it a handful of times, and couldn't tell you all of it, but I will next time.
So Kelly, the governor's around there. What do you shoot for that? You reload or you just buy it? Or
I really like ELDXs. I in those 6.5s particularly, I think they hit that sweet spot of, the 400-yard shot with the. I mean, Jamie knows this. I think that gun out kills 25 outs. I'm not saying it outshoots, but it out kills.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the same bullet you're running out of the 6.5, but I like those because I think we have those 150-yard shots on a doe. They tend to deal better with,
DRT.
not the pinprick. You actually can find a blood trail. And I really like ELDXs. That's what I'm shooting out of my PRC or 7 too. But I haven't shot the gun yet. I got to get out and get it done.
What?
Is that this one, Kelly?
6.5 PRC.
No, that's your shotgun.
That's my new shotgun. That'll feel like the end of my.
If he tries to run a 7 PRC out of that,
I wouldn't look at it real close. That was a shotgun.
Wonder what the barrel twist is on that
one.
If I could do the one thing I would say, if you guys get a chance, go play with one of those Tricert bipods.
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all,
Never
Tricer's
heard
a
of them.
really cool company. They make tripods for all of this stuff, but they do. I mean, everybody's trying to take the model off of a camera tripod, and they do it backwards. The fat end is down at the bottom, and they have they're really modular. You can run. I run my binos off them mostly, but then you can also run a Arca plate on them for your gun, all this stuff. But they've got their new bipod is, really light, carbon fiber. If you look at anything else, they're $500-600. You can get into these things cheaper than that, and you can shoot all the way from prone to kneeling. And these guys build hunting things. They build things for hunting, I'm really kind of excited about it. It's fun to play around with, and I've got to meet them a couple times at some of the shows. They're the right kind of guys, and
there you go. Clay's got you up there.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Whenever
sweet.
you're trying to get something to do everything, you kind of give something up, and I think
100%,
this is probably the closest I've seen to. I'm pretty hard on my rifles for rifle hunting. And
look how far they bend out.
Really impressed with this thing, and I've played around with it. I've shot off it. I really like it. And if you go to any of the other carbon fiber stuff, you can go to Spartan, you can go to Gunworks, you can go to any of that stuff, and they're all. These guys, not only do they know what they're doing, but they price point better than anything similar in the market.
Cool.
A good bipod is worth it, I'll tell you. You can get some pretty cheap bipods that freeze up in the wintertime, especially when you're sitting in snow waiting for a coyote to come in. And if you have something that's made by hunters and they understand that, that's worth it.
So, Scott, this is how I figured out how I got into this company. I was looking around and I'm like, well, I don't really use a tripod all that much. And why would I spend that $400 for the tripod? And then I looked around my hunting shop and I had 6 cheap tripods laying around. And I'm like, because I've spent more than that on these 6 and I don't use any of them because they're all garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a lot of Versapods. You ever heard of Versapods? The nice thing is you can put an adapter on every gun. They're a little bulky, but that's why I bought them, because at that time they had 3 different positions, and that's why I used them. But I've had them for years. I don't know, kind of like what you showed us there. I'm gonna have to look at those, Kelly.
You're looking at a guy who's got Harris.
Yeah, Harris.
They're still better than Champion.
Oh, Champions! Oh my God, yeah.
Way better.
Harris is great.
Yeah.
Until you're 5'0", 100, and you spend too much time sitting in a chair in your office, and now all of a sudden you realize you're a month away from climbing a mountain in Alberta, and you're like, I am nowhere near ready to carry that extra 3 pounds.
I don't know, man. If you're rolling around with a backpack, and how much weight did you say you had in that thing?
I start at 50, and I'll work up to 65 just so I can carry 10. Mountain hunting's interesting. The first day you go up and you put everything, you get as light as you can in your backpack. and the next day you realize you don't need any of that stuff. Like,
I got a 50-pound vest over here, but I mean I definitely don't climb the stuff you do when you're doing sheep hunting. But okay, let's get to some of these comments here. I know you're putting them up there, Clay, but for the people listening, on the
Dave was
podcast
asking
here,
have you ever used Swagger pods? I've
never
heard of them.
I'm gonna look it up.
I have seen them. It's kind of like a longer, like rectangle thing on in front of your. I mean, they look all right. I think one guy I know had them, and he didn't care for them, but that doesn't mean everybody else wouldn't. I'm looking at this thing here, 18 wheels here, man. He's getting that must suck to live there. He said it's screwed prohibited people on hunting. Muzzle loaders are now guns, and the primers and prefer are illegal if you have as much as a DUI. You gotta be. I mean, Clay, when I first met you and Scott, I always said that before. I'm like, pretty soon you're going to make it. If you get a DUI, you can't own guns.
For that. Like he said, you got to have what they call an LTC to buy 209 primers, which are shotgun primers. So I asked him what it was. He says a license to carry. So it's kind of like the FOID card out in Illinois. Now you got to have a license.
Last time somebody committed a crime with a black powder gun was the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah.
Like a lot of 7-Elevens getting knocked over with a flintlock.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, we did a happy ending story on Talk Show, right? When the guy shot it and he blew the first guy out, and the rest of them got dusted with the black powder and took off running. It worked pretty good for him there. But
Dave says the 300 Norma mag would be a hoot, but the 300 PRC is a little more user friendly. I know guys that love those for 8 to 1,200 yard shots. I'm on the fence to build one myself. Dave's a competition shooter, so he goes way beyond my knowledge.
Than I am.
Yeah.
Anybody who says a 300 PRC is user friendly is tougher than me.
So talking about real quick here, you guys know Anderson Manufacturing, right? If anybody knows about ARs, the Poverty Pony,
Ruger bought them, didn't
which
they?
I've never had a problem with. I always said, Ruger actually Ruger bought them out. They bought out Kentucky based. That's where Anderson was. Ruger bought them out, and it sounds like Ruger's pretty much shutting it down. There's going to be no more Anderson. It sounds to me like Ruger's just going to engulf them and use their machines and create and use and produce Ruger stuff. I was kind of surprised. The number one, I don't know, Clay, did we talk about this a while back? But the number one rifle producer was it's still who's the guy out? Savage. They're still number one. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, but between modern machining and their AccuTrigger, like you go. I mean, I've told you guys my thoughts on Ruger Americans and how good they are, but I mean, if you're getting this stuff on a budget, like
they're great.
I always tell people, spend your money on your optics and your boots. You can buy an off-the-shelf rifle pretty cheap. I mean, and you can be can be legit hunting accurate without. I mean, we chase this stuff because we love it.
Yeah,
but we don't need it.
You can make.
There are very few shots I've ever made in my life that I couldn't have made with an off-the-shelf.
Right, I think of the you're right.
I like buying it. I like having it. I like dinking with it. But spend your money on a good scope and a good pair of boots.
I just bought those two G1. They're G1 even Ruger. I bought a Predator and a Ranch. That Predator shoots Fiocchi Saab. I mean, I could cover 5 shots with a dime, and I'm like, that's a fluke. I'm gonna do it again. I shot another group, the same thing, and I'm like, it's crazy. So, according to the latest published manufacturing stats they got here, Anderson produced 338,742 firearms. With the most of these, that was the lowers, and of course, Palmetto State Armory had the most lowers. But speaking of just straight rifles, so they got the 2023 manufacturing numbers here. And Savage is the top with 639,591. That is a freaking assload of rifles right there. Ruger close second, 610,951. So I think Ruger's probably gunning for number one here by buying these guys out.
Probably.
Right. And Anderson, the amount of money they threw at him, Anderson is probably like, yeah, we can make a nice little statement here and say, we're really sorry we're closing the doors, but whatever.
So
the best
there's
thing
a
about
shitload of AR manufacturers out there.
I mean, the 4570 resurgence is really cool. And they're doing a bunch of stuff, and I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Ruger's awesome, man. I like if you're gonna buy a manufactured firearm of some, I definitely love. I love Ruger's for the money you got, for you're paying for.
I'm guessing, Scott, didn't you have? I mean, you've had quite a few Savages, especially when Ron was in there.
So Ron gave me the brother-in-law discount and I saved that up for many years, and I got the big bull barrel red trigger. I mean, it's an expensive rifle back and when it first came. Well, it had to be custom ordered, right? I mean, those are custom rifles, and I'm telling you right now, that's what I shoot on a daily basis, every day. Coyotes, it doesn't matter what it is, and I can reach a long ways with that rifle.
I loved Ron. The first day I met him, hell of a good guy. He was an immigrant. That was what was cool. He understood Irish. Our Second Amendment from Irish. Yeah, I mean, the guy was just fantastic, and we had a lot of fun out there shooting them prairie dogs.
Well, we talk the Savage, the Aki trigger, and all of that, but their old levers, like those are like what's the caliber they had? I'm always trying to find one in a 243, but they had a Savage specific caliber.
300, wasn't it?
300 Savage?
Pretty sure.
Yep, 300 Savage.
Yeah.
Almost like a 308,
a friend of my dad's that was at our deer camp had that gun, and it was such a sweet shooting lever action, and they're kind of fun to have around too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
243s are harder to find, at least at gun shows. But they have. Do you guys know, side note question, because I have to go here and I keep asking, why those Ruger stainless steel with the black stock, they came out in the mid-90s, the bolt action?
Oh, I know exactly.
Why are those so expensive now?
I don't think they made very many of them because my buddy bought one at a rummage sale. He just stole that thing. It was 300 Win Mag. Yeah, they're like
the stock. I mean, that black stock is not great. Like if it gets too cold, it cracks. Like, but now if you go to gun shows, there must be like the Nassau like 5 years ago where like just scarcity breeds something. But I mean,
I think they just look so freaking unique that they're. When I see when they catch them, I'm like, God, that thing's kind of freaking cool. And then you look at the price, and you're like, and I asked the guy at the gun show at Fargo, and he's like, yeah, we'll get it. And I'm like, okay, I guess. But good for them. I mean, it's cool that people want them and want to shoot them. I'm just like, I remember, like, Ruger should maybe bring them. Hey, maybe they're going to make those.
25 years ago, you walk into I'm old. You walk into a store, and like half of the used gun section was those guns. Like we thought it was cool too, and we didn't like it anymore.
Yeah, they're like Chevy Novas in the early 80s.
Well, hey guys, I appreciate everything. Happy Independence Day. I do have to get going though.
Yeah, well, Scott, we appreciate it.
You bet, Scott. Yep, we're gonna cut her down. Kelly's got to go. Appreciate you hanging in there, man. It's a long show, but fun topic. We can keep going, but we'll have to do.
I'll tell you right now,
awesome. Everybody. I brought this in to show you guys. This is what.
There it is.
Oh, there it is, right there.
If you get cut off, I don't care.
I think you're
light it up now. We're good. Screw it.
Well, I guess I'm not going to light it up.
That was a hell of a try.
Scott's tuned out here, but that's okay. We appreciate him coming. There you go. We have flame.
There you go.
Awesome. It saves your fingers and your back when you're my age. When you're lighting fireworks, you can just walk around with it.
And plus, you won't get hit.
That's a good flame on that
by
thing.
A 2-inch mortar right here in the head. So yeah, that should have had that night.
I don't let people shoot mortars behind me ever.
Yeah,
especially when he's 15 and
well, here's what the thing was. I've been doing that for years. I had been trained. We always used our PPE. I mean, I went down over to Watertown, was trained by Lou's Fireworks, but we had to move that night. Didn't have any of my gear, and I did everything wrong and had an accident. So lucky I'm here, honestly. So.
Well, at least you can still.
It burned off my
'cause
corneas. It was bad. But hey, the
Jeez.
doctor, he said you're okay. He said it could have been worse. So. Fireworks are fun. I don't have anything against them. I haven't shot one since. I'll be honest. I haven't touched one since. So.
The only thing I always tell people on fireworks: pay attention to your dogs.
Yep.
Pay attention to we got.
Oh yeah, some dogs can't handle that at all, man. My dogs freaking loved. They chase like the spinners and the bottle rockets. They chase them. I had German Shorthairs, 3 of them growing up.
The other answer is it's a little like pheasant hunting. Celebrate when you're done.
There you go. There you go.
18
Wheel says, thanks for coming in, Gov. I wish all government was down to earth as you are. Happy Independence Day. So, yeah, appreciate
you
that.
You too. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for having me on. We'll do it again. You know, this is about my favorite thing to do in the world.
We do. Hey, you got to hook us up with Kemp, though. We'd love to have him on here.
Yeah, get Brian Kemp on. Let's get some rednecking going on with him.
I mean, he's those rural Georgia boys. I mean, they got hogs. Thank God we don't have hogs here yet, although they'd be fun to shoot. But I'd go somewhere else.
Right.
Well, but he's a good dude, and he's also a pro. And him and Trump got sideways, and then they were both grown up and realized Georgia was important, and but he's just a down-to-earth guy that I can tell you how you know that, because he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got all of that. He's done a good job running Georgia for all of that, and he has no interest in going into DC into that mess.
Don't blame him there.
We wish he would, because I think he wins that seat, but I think we can win that seat anyway. But the last couple of days, watching what's going on out there, I don't miss it. But at the same time, it's still pretty important for what we got for tax breaks, $200 on a tax stamp. Not everything's going to be perfect in this stuff, but we're a lot better off right now than we were a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, some people are like, well, it's $200. I don't care, man. I bought 6 suppressors. That's $1,200. I could have had another one or 2 cheaper ones, man.
And it's the point.
That's bullshit. I mean, it's just a waste.
It's the point. Yep.
Yeah, it is the right.
What do you need a suppressor
and like I said, the other stuff, I think we get that before the Supreme Court. We can get rid of it.
What do you need a suppressor for? You're asking the wrong question. You don't get to ask me what I need this for.
Need is not mentioned, right? Yeah.
Right. I've said that I don't know how many times. If you can show me the word need in the Second Amendment, I'll give you every assault.
Well, I'll tell you what, Governor, we didn't start the show because we went right into it. To end this, would you like to read the Second Amendment to everybody?
I could have done it without there.
I know we always put it down here though.
A well-regulated militia, which is important,
yes,
being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Oh, awesome! No better way to end this great all American outdoor show right into the Independence Day weekend, Governor.
Anybody still hanging with us? Happy Independence Day! Have fun with your friends and family. Celebrate the greatest country in the history of the world.
Absolutely. It might not be perfect, but it is the
Couldn't
best.
Said it better. We still got 40 of them hanging.
We got about 10 over there on Rumble, so hey, we're doing good.
There we go. Thanks, guys.
Kelly, I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, Kelly.
I'll be up there on Monday. Perfect. I got a gift for you too. I'll bring you a little Guns and 701 swag.
And if Jamie's nice to you, you can give him his governor hat.
Okay.
If he's busting your chops on anything, you can hold it as ransom.
Perfect.
Nobody's getting this one, man.
That's the OG.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Kelly.
We have a great Independence Day weekend, and we will catch everybody next week on Wednesday. I'll be in Bismarck on Monday. On Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. So thanks again, everybody. We appreciate it. And if you want to, go ahead and hit that little right there. Yeah, go up there and hit that. Give us a little donation. We'll have the basically the reoccurring subscriptions coming up next week if I got it all programmed right. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Keep your powder dry.